These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between, how can it be wrong? Sail away with me.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome to episode 125 of America's Barley Basket. My name is Nathan Volsebuck. Sitting next to me, physically, is Marlon Wells.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
Boy, that was
low.
Ooh.
I don't know, will the mic pick it up?
Oh, yeah, it did, for sure.
Will it really properly convey the unpleasantness of it?
100%.
There we
yep.
go.
It's, we have the technology.
We can really dig into the depths of my perversion and bring it to the sun.
We can bring your creep factor to the people.
Or it festers.
I don't know why I'm doing like Obama hand gestures.
That is very Obama.
Really driving this home.
Or maybe did Clinton kind of do almost like he's smoking a J?
Clinton did the half thumbs up.
You're right.
I can see it because I can see Daryl Hammond doing it.
Yep. I almost think that's a thing a lot of politicians do. They do the kind of weird fist thumb thing, and they're driving that forward,
like they're pushing in a thumbtack with their thumb.
Yep.
You know?
Do you think that's like they're trained to do that, or is that just a tick?
Is there some deep psychological reason?
Like they don't want you pointing. Pointing makes people feel accused. Yep.
And they don't want you banging on the podium.
Yeah.
But you need to emphasize.
Yeah.
So I guess it's that.
There we go. Good for that. I'm glad that's what they're stressing on.
Yeah, 100%. And not that we're all dying.
That no one can go to the dentist anymore.
Yep.
All of our teeth hurt.
How are any dentists still in business?
Yeah, because the profit margin is so high. You only need a few people that can afford it.
Well, and thank God, because there's only a few people who can afford it.
If you ride a city bus, 87% of those people have a tooth or two that hurts.
Right.
They're just avoiding it. They're forgetting about it. You know,
they're putting it out of their head.
I don't like this.
I forget where I saw it, but I saw it put so succinctly once on why doesn't regular health insurance cover your dental coverage? And it's somewhat when you ask questions like that, the answer is always boring and just money is the answer. But it's because that teeth don't affect your ability to work.
Oh, interesting.
In a way that a broken hand does.
Yeah,
or a broken leg.
Huh.
And that's why your employer doesn't give you dental insurance.
Terrific. That's good.
Everything's awesome all the time.
But you can get a toothache that's bad enough that you got to stay home. But that means you're dying, so you got to go to the hospital. You've waited too long.
Yeah, now you have some manner of blood poisoning that health insurance will cover.
Yeah, hey, jackpot.
Hey, you did it. It got bad enough that now you're covered.
I'm now deaf for some reason, but by God, my teeth have never not hurt less. Holy, I should be in dental ads. My teeth have never not hurt less.
I could stand to visit a dentist. It's been a minute or two.
I did for the first time without dental insurance in a hot while, and it was $250 for a checkup and a couple x-rays. Well, my teeth will have to be screaming in agony for me to go back at that amount of money.
I would have guessed it would have been more than that. So I'm like, okay, $250 for
Man, you live in Fargo. There's the dental school. They'll clean your teeth for $20.
I've been there before. It's not a good experience.
Is it?
Yeah. I went there when I was real, true blue, real deal poor. And it's they're learning.
Yeah. My whole thing is you got so many teeth, a couple can be practiced upon. Hopefully they get the good rhythm down by tooth number 3.
By the time they get to the front.
Fuck up the front teeth. My looks aren't what's keeping me from succeeding in life. I need my molars. They're the workhorses in this fucking baseball lineup.
Nathan Volksbach would rather eat than smile.
Yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. That is 100% true. I need to enjoy my milk duds. Try eating milk dud with your front teeth.
Look
It's
like a psychopath.
whole afternoon's job.
People looking at you on the bus.
We're going to have to ask you to leave the movie theater.
I got so many milk duds left.
I just want to enjoy my tasty treats. Chocolate all over your face. You're 40 years old, you fat fucking pig.
Go home.
A fatter, sadder fucking movie attendant's just dressing you down.
If you're going to do shit like this, do it at home.
Yeah. I know this AMC smock I'm wearing doesn't add up to much, but in this fucking realm, it means I'm king. Go eat your milk duds in your car, you fucking lump. You do? Yeah. I guess. Still got a few duds left.
God, if you saw some big oaf sitting in his car eating milk duds, one at a time, crying, crying like a cartoon dog,
Droopy dog.
Yeah.
At least these duds are good.
I do like these duds. I don't think there's any milk in these at all. Silly name.
My bones sure hurt a lot.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. How you doing, bud? You're up here? You're in Fargo? You're just fucking...
Existing?
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Attaboy.
out here.
Way to exist.
My body's open to everything. Just ready to enjoy life, you know?
Just an open body.
Just, you know what? I'm not closed off to the world. I'm wide open. Spread eagle to life. That's what
Taking
I say.
all comers.
Yeah, whatever's coming my way.
Spell it any way you want.
Do some weird Russian drugs you got to inject into your eyes. What do I got to lose? Let's try it.
Just your teeth.
Just my teeth, which they are fighting a losing war at all times.
They're leaving on their own.
I am getting to a point. I got android teeth technically because of I bet I'm right now at about 30% artificial shit in my mouth.
No shit.
I think I have 1 or 2 molars left that don't have a crown.
Huh.
So I have definitely spent more on my teeth than I ever have on any vehicle.
You got Blade Runner teeth.
Yeah, that every time I chew something like a milk duds, like this the one that's going to pop that fucking crown off? I'm going to have to go pay someone to hot glue a crown into my head for $800.
I mean, I've got Gorilla Glue here in the house.
That's true.
It's cheap.
I gotta start doing this myself. There's YouTube tutorials for everything.
Yeah, you don't have
at-home dentistry.
It's the gig economy.
Yeah.
You call somebody up.
Like that. Have you ever seen the movie Ronin with Robert De Niro, where he has to stay awake after getting shot and talk that guy from removing that bullet from his liver?
No,
Yeah, it's pretty metal.
sounds like.
I get pretty sure, and when they finally get it out, it's like, okay, I'm gonna pass out now. It's like so he perfectly tied a bow on it.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, it's a good time. You know who did not star or even appear in the movie Ronin?
Who's that?
The Simpsons.
Attaboy, look at you go.
We did it.
Every time. We are going to wrap up season 28 today. Let's start with episode 21, Moho House. We get Homer coming home toasted from Moe's, a classic shtick.
Yeah, the classics. They're a classic for a reason.
Yeah, Homer coming in, he's wasted.
I don't mean to backtrack, but we in the couch gag, we got a Chia Pet couch gag, which we might have seen before.
Yep. I don't know that we've seen that before.
I don't know if we've discussed this. Have you ever seen a Chia Pet in the wild?
I have seen a Chia Pet that is still in the box
for sale
at a thrift store.
Okay.
But never an out-of-the-box growing Chia Pet.
My answer is the exact same as yours. I've seen them for sale before at like secondhand stores,
Yep.
but I've never seen one on someone's desk at work.
Like who's ever bought one.
I'm going to say it right now. You ever get me for a white elephant gift or something dumb where you just got to think of a little $15 trinket? I'd fucking take a chia pet.
Yeah? Would you use it? Would you plant it and water it?
Just see if it worked, because we've discussed in the podcast before, I have many times been fucked over by cheap back of the magazine trinkets.
Yep.
I would like one to pay off. If that chia pet was just a limp dick and didn't grow anything, I'd be so fucking furious. Just staring at a bald Popeye. Just the fuck is wrong with you?
This is going to sound like a dumb question, but I'm a dumb man. Like, you can buy chia seeds to put in your protein shakes. Is that what a chia pet is?
Never thought of it, but
like if you just smeared some of those on a little decorative bust at home, do you have a chia pet?
Oh my God, yeah, we got to start doing that at museums.
Holy shit, that's
Ben
my
Franklin,
street art.
yeah, Ben Franklin with just a nice tight flat top.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm down for that type of outlaw street art.
If I remember from the advertisements, you take out the bust, then you got to mix together like a mush
in a paste,
and you apply the paste, and then I think you sprinkle seeds, or maybe the seeds are mixed in with the mush.
I think the seeds are in the paste, and then you just water it.
They literally give you a little disposable butter knife, I think, that you apply
or
the paste.
Popsicle stick, yeah.
And then you water it, and goddamn, all of a sudden, fucking your Dr. J fucking bust has a leap and fro and just tighter than shit.
Like you could do, I wonder if you could do that on the street. You come by every couple of days and spritz it with a water bottle. That is a fun, harmless vandalism.
That would be a weird thing to do on a sidewalk. Just of the 60 squares, one is covered in a layer of fucking rapidly growing fucking, just this green. There you go. That can be your mischief.
I think that's fun. Yeah. I think that's I think I might try that.
I'd like to have that happen outside your home. Just some man you don't know shows up. Just spreading some mush.
or you go to, like, unlock your small store that you own and get ready for the day, and right out there on the front door, someone has drawn and cultivated a big grass dick and balls on your front door.
Oh dear.
Do I leave it? I mean,
just gonna strip the paint. I don't know.
Just gonna take my tint off.
The aluminum siding. You just take it off. Now there's just the faint tanned outline of a coffee ball.
You haven't solved any problem.
Like, no way to win here.
Now my vandalism doesn't seem quite so cheeky anymore.
Could have just had an Etsy shop, but no.
It had brick and mortar, huh? It had to have brick and mortar.
Like the wife just wanted a place so she could design it herself.
Chia vandalisms. I'm pretty...
Chia dorks. We just sell the outline of the dick and balls. That's where you put the mush.
Just sell patterns. Yep.
All juvenile.
Draw big dick and balls on the hood of somebody's car with chia seed.
And you're just you're in a busy, hectic part of your life. You can't get rid of it. Going for an oil change. It's like, so is this? Don't even fucking ask, man.
Listen.
His name's Dennis. He works in my office. He's a real fucker.
Sir, that's growing to the point you're not going to mow
I know.
that
I own
soon.
the car. I own the car. You don't think I fucking remind myself of that every day? Yeah, man. It's my car.
It's sticking up 4 or 5 inches. Like, yeah, you have weed eater in there, man. I don't know that this car wash is going to take that off.
The kid around it's looking at the list of things they don't allow.
Aftermarket spoilers.
Trailer mirrors.
Yeah. Chia dicks.
Yeah. Plant-based genital art.
That's a fun set of words.
I'm sorry, sir. I have to ask you to back out of the line. Go down to Whale Wash. They're not as strict there.
You'll have to go to one of those. Put a quarter in and get a pressure washer. One of those do-it-yourself car washes. You can't bring it into this red carpet.
So I apologize. Well, well, I guess my business isn't wanted here.
Take you to a gas station one where you park and everything happens around you in there. Come out and it's still on.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Everything else is spotless. Looks like your fucking fern dong looks better than ever. They like the hot water. They like the heat.
I think it's growing
Yeah,
more.
this isn't helping anything.
God damn it. I gotta buy some Roundup for my car.
Wait a second, I bought fertilizer. Just
This person, I think, doesn't exist.
Just have to walk to work till winter hits. Surely it can't survive the winter.
And it does. Finally, we got some bad weather. It hailed out my car deck. So Homer comes home all gassed up from Moe's. He's wearing a green hat because he thinks it's St. Patrick's Day. Explains that he knows it's not, but green hats are cheaper in the off season. So he is celebrating St. Patrick's Day now. Gives Marge some flowers that she doesn't fucking want, and we are doing a Marriage on the Rocks episode.
Real nostalgic here because there used to be a lot of these.
This used to happen every other week. Back at the plant, Homer is venting to Lenny and Carl about this situation, and that's when Mr. Burns shows up with this fella Nigel, who is a rich friend of his, and he's giving him a tour of the plant, and it's at this point that Smithers gives Burns a pill that he wraps in a slice of cheese like a dog. And then has to be like, did you eat the cheese and not the pill? Open your mouth. And Burns does, and he did, in fact, not eat the pill. It's very funny.
You know who did the voice for Nigel?
That is Michael York.
Should I know that?
You would recognize his face. He's in Logan's Run. He's in Austin Powers.
Oh, I wonder who he is in Austin Powers.
Yeah,
maybe
such and such Exposition is the guy's last name.
Oh yeah,
like Basil Exposition or something like that.
Yep.
You would recognize.
There we
his
go.
face.
Yep. Very proper.
Yes, a very proper British gentleman. As they all are.
Yeah.
British people, especially British men, they're either Michael Caine or Johnny Rotten.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Between.
They're either, like the most dignified man making women smooth, or they're fucking a literal pile of trash at fucking 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Crust punk show.
Yeah, in an alleyway.
Yeah, you're either a Sex Pistol or royalty and nothing in between. Or, well, you could be like just some middle-class schlub like fucking Keeping Up Appearances or any other wonderful British sitcom.
We can't go down that road again. I'll get my blood pressure nowadays. I can't get that riled up for the fact that you enjoy that show.
I saw you immediately put up a roadblock on that topic.
White knuckling the mic. I can't do it.
God, I swear to God, this can't devolve into 25 minutes of faulty towers talk. God damn it.
I allowed too much Keeping Up Appearances talk, and I opened the floodgates, and now here you are.
Boy, it's been a little tough to see. John Cleese seems to be on his path down this. No one can make jokes about anything anymore, and boy, aren't pronouns dumb. Like, you can kind of like see him just drifting off, and it's like, no, not John Cleese. But don't take Cleese.
I mean, when people, maybe he's not as old as maybe I think he's older than he is. But if homie was born in the 40s, I just assume,
what do you think he thinks?
Right?
Yeah, of course, I know.
Think of the things that people 60 years from now will think about us.
Yeah.
Like they sat on leather couches, those animals.
Or what? Look at what they ate.
Yeah, right? Holy shit. I never thought of that. What that's going to look like in 100 years. Like fucking them looking at what do they call the fucking squishy little chickadee things you eat on Easter? Peeps?
Peeps, yeah.
There's one natural ingredient in a peep.
No.
They will think that we fed that to people to get confessions out of that. Like, wait, what? To children?
The thing that I always frame it as in my head is, what is today's smoking?
Yeah.
You know, like, because in the fucking 30s through the 50s into the 60s and 70s, everybody smoked. Nobody thought anything of it.
Yeah.
You know, like, what is today's? I bet it's soda,
It's
frankly.
that, or sitting on your ass.
Or, yes, or stationary.
I got a 3.5 pack of sedentary lifestyle habit.
It would be better for me to be on my feet and smoking than sitting and not smoking.
Laying on my side. Oh, boy. Just in bed. Now I'm on the floor. I could have just stood up.
We should have a lay down podcast where we do a lay down episode. Yeah. One on the couch, one on the floor. Just
it'd have to be a lot of solidarity. We demand everyone listening lay down too.
Yeah. 100%.
You're at work? Well, lay down. See what they'll say.
Every once in a while, there's just a light snoring as one of us trips up.
Yeah. We'd have to have a third person in here to keep us alert.
Yes, to supervise.
It was like a poking stick.
Somebody would have to drive this ship
Yeah.
for sure. We barely can keep this between the lines sitting upright. And I think we ought to lay out and stretch out.
Just immediate deep REM sleep. Like you can hear the mic picks up the stick sharply jabbing us. Like yeah, so episode 13. I guess Lisa's got a bike or
Is that your wake up
I
sound?
don't fuck.
Oh, it's probably not far off.
If you want to get some nightmare fucking background sounds for just have a mic dangling over me as I sleep.
Or me.
I've been
As soon as I said it, I was like, maybe you should talk.
Yeah. Yours is just an endless poorly fucking, they don't got the carbs jetted right on a chainsaw and they're trying to cut through like metal. So the blade season up all the time. Mine is a lot of just silence and then fucking moaning and then like quick chunks of words that are very troubling. Fucking burn it all. Burn it all. And then out for a while. No survivors. What? What is he dreaming about?
I don't like people that color. What the hell? Jeez.
No wheelchair ramps.
What does he have against the disabled?
It's just when I'm asleep, baby. I promise.
Someone's standing over you, writing all this down in a notebook.
I'm gonna fuck a shadow person. What was that? So shadow people are real?
We just eat the homeless. Jesus. Oh, fuck. So Mr. Burns eats the cheese and not the pill. This is when Marge comes by. Marge is an angel woman, making the effort, brought lunch, we're gonna work this out. And they do, and they make up, and they're all smooching in Homer's office, not knowing that Mo and Nigel are watching them on the security screens, and Nigel makes a bet that he can break them up. Seemingly just because he's a jerk.
And what I don't get, that's just a part of the storyline that I found a little flimsy. Why would Burns be so certain in their love, you know?
I mean, he's seen it all these years, because later Smithers is too. Like, and then also later, Burns brings it up again. Like, you can't break up the Simpsons. There's no way.
See, it doesn't seem like it was all that long ago. There was a running gag of that Mr. Burns never knew who Homer was.
Yes,
maybe we're far enough
true.
past that.
Maybe we're far enough.
Yeah.
We might be far enough past it. But he is so certain. I forget what the bet is, but
$5
it's
million.
an extreme amount of money. We go to the bar. Homer, God damn it, Homer. So they've made up. Marge goes home. She's waiting there in her what do you call that? Negligee?
Yeah.
I don't know what words are. And Homer, instead of going home, goes out for a drink with Nigel. Just invites him out for a drink, and he's like, oh, well, I really should. Oh, we're going to Moe's? Okay. Like, big dumb Homer, of course, goes to Moe's. Marge pissed. We get this is something I had forgotten, but we get a reference to Moe's talking bar rag.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that episode? That weird episode about Moe's talking bar rag?
Yeah.
We get a real brief reference to that, which I liked. I was like, oh, yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
I forgot it so much when I saw that I didn't put two and two together.
That it didn't even register.
Yeah.
Yep. Nigel is going to try using Moe to break them up because Homer eventually does go home. He goes home. Marge not happy. Just, I guess you'll never change. Which is the worst. Like, she's not even going to fight anymore.
Yeah.
It's just a bummer. Moe's is closed. Or I'm getting ahead of myself. Marge in the morning is reading Numb Housewife magazine.
I have it written down. Christ, I laughed at that.
Jesus, the cover is just a housewife with her head in the oven. Yeah. God damn it.
And sometime not too much before this, I don't know what the context is, but we get a Maude and Edna in ghost-like form appearance. What?
Marge, when she's waiting for Homer, looks out the window and sees other husbands doing good things for their wives. Like you see the cop, Wiggum,
Chief Wiggum,
coming home, and he's got a box marked evidence, and it's full of jewelry, and gives it to his wife. And then the last one you see is Ned, who is giving harps to his two ghost angel wives. We haven't seen Edna or the other one. Jesus, what's the other one?
Maude.
Maude. We haven't seen either of them animated in a while.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool that they keep showing up every so often. But yeah, that's where that scene's from. Moe's is closed. Barney is bummed, of course, that Moe's is closed. And it's because Moe has a new bar, which is Moho House. I don't know what the reference is. It is a vaguely British kind of posh rooftop bar on top of a skyscraper, I guess.
Which would have cost infinitely more than the $5 million that is up for grabs in this bet.
Yeah. Nigel gives this all to Moe, basically, because this is his new route to win this bet. Is he's going to use Moe to break up the already weakened Simpson marriage, because he talks to Moe, and Moe spits out that he's in love with Midge. Burns, when they're at this rooftop bar, Burns doubles down. Again, is like, you can't break up the Simpsons. Doubles down, and now the bet is Nigel's entire fortune versus the original $5 million plus Smithers. Because Nigel wants Smithers. Marge and Homer are at this party at Moho House, and they're kind of there to spite each other, really. They show up together and immediately split off, and they're each doing their own thing. Creep-ass Moe is moving in on Marge, because creep-ass Moe got a creep. And Smithers finally has, had enough, because he's like, I think he even says out loud to himself, I could never work for an old man I don't love, or that I'm not in love with. Jesus, Smithers. So now he's going to put his thumb on the scale a little bit. He goes to Homer, pushes him to make everything right with Marge, and gives him a gift. We don't see what it is, but he's like, God, this was for my mom's birthday, but you take it and give it to Marge and make everything better. Turns out it is a pair of diamond earrings, which Marge is not into, because she knows that Homer didn't get them for her, and that it comes with a birthday card that says happy 81st birthday. So she's still not forgiving him. We get the only shot of the kids other than that opening dinner scene.
Yep, my note is, boy, we don't get much of the kids in this one.
Yep. They're just in a room while Homer is walking by on his knees begging for forgiveness. Yeah. And Bart, of course, throws thumbtacks out in the hallway for him to have to kneel on.
Which was good. Yeah.
But crazy. That might be the least we've ever seen the kids.
Top 5, definitely.
Marge goes to Moe, and so does Homer. Moe, in the meantime, has had this moment of like conflict of what am I doing? With the piano player is the one who's talking sense into him, I guess. So Moe has invited both of them there separately, and that's when Homer gives Marge a flip book about like they're like stick figures in love and go to the moon or something. It's real dumb. Yeah. But very Homer. Very dumb and childish. Charming but dumb.
Yeah.
So they're back together. Burns won the bet. Smithers, like, I thought this was dumb, but like, Burns and Nigel gives Burns his check for his entire fortune, and then Smithers comes and is like, who are you talking to, sir? And Burns turns to talk to Smithers, and when he turns back, Nigel's gone, and he's like, I guess he was never real, and tears up his check, and then leaves. And then Nigel like comes from a different room drying his hands on a towel, like, what did I miss? So it's really dumb.
Yeah.
But it's just like, and Smithers explains that like, oh, I took care of it. And old guy Nigel like plants one on Smithers, and then it like pans over in the Moho bar to the Shining picture.
Yeah.
And like zooms in on it like it does in The Shining. And then Moe in the picture goes, but wait, wasn't this place just built? And that's like the end of the episode. There's a dumb tag on the end with the pianist also, but like whatever.
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah. Not a fan.
No.
Like, even though we haven't had one in a while, these Homer and Marge on the Rocks episodes are they're so played out for me. Like, we saw so many of these.
You're going to get a similar ending every time.
Yeah, that's the thing. They all just become so formulaic because what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Almost 30 seasons in.
Yeah.
Get them divorced? Is that what you're going to do?
Is that the plan?
Yeah. So they seem even more pointless now than they did in the early days.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I think it was fine. I really liked the Burns cheese joke. I liked that a lot, that Burns gets his medication in a slice of cheese like a dog. But, outside of that, not a lot for me.
Yeah, I think we see kind of eye to eye on that one. How will episode 22 fare? The final episode of the season. Title is Dogtown. Is that a play on words at all? Or is it just, this is, the town goes to the dogs in this episode?
I guess it's that. I mean, there's Lords of Dogtown.
That can't be, but that's my first thought, too.
I doubt they're making that reference in, 2017?
Yeah. So while using an alleyway shortcut, Homer's brakes malfunction, and he has to choose between hitting either Santa's Little Helper or Gil, because they're both eating at dumpsters at the same time. That was a good visual. Just Gil's always optimistic, finding some good treats in the trash.
Yeah.
And Homer, goddammit, he chooses Gil.
Why does Homer's car run away to begin with? I forget.
Is he?
He's listening to Waze, or it's whatever their fake version of Waze is. Waze like finds him an alternate route.
Oh, yeah.
And the robot lady's talking to him, and he's making the wrong turns or whatever.
That's exactly
That's
it.
what it was.
Like, I'm not really sure where he was going to and from, though.
I don't remember either.
The gag was supposed to be, how crazy is the voice on GPS is crazy, am I right?
And that's Waze's big thing, is alternate routes.
Yeah.
Waze is always like, fuck it, turn left here.
The fuck is Waze?
Waze. It's a a navigation app.
Really?
Same as Google Maps or whatever. Some people prefer it to Google Maps, A, because it's not affiliated with Google. It doesn't like keep your data or anything the way Google does. But B, for that reason of it's way better at alternate routes.
Oh, like, interesting.
Like Google will just, you pick a spot and it'll give you 3 fucking routes. Whereas Waze is like, here's 80 routes.
Interesting.
Or here's 1 route, and on the way, if I decide there's a quicker one, I'll fucking change.
Figure it out.
I'll tell you something different.
You can trust Waze.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
So Homer cheesed Gil with his car, and Gil is all fucked up. I don't know if we get like a breakdown, but he's like in the classic Simpsons, arms and legs held up in
neck
the air.
brace.
Yeah, he's all sorts of messed up. They visit him in the hospital, and they kind of talk going in like, oh, boy, like Gil might really put us through the ringer financially. And Gil is just happier than a pig and shit because he knows how much money he can make by suing the Simpsons, and he is fucking jazzed about it.
He even tells Homer, like, come over here and let me scratch your head because you're the lotto ticket I've been waiting for. Like, he's so overtly happy about suing them.
Yep. And it's not like he's like rubbing their noses in it. He's just a joyful man, that Gil.
He's got nothing against them.
So
and to be fair, Homer hit him with his fucking car.
Oh my God, yeah. Homer should be in jail.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be a civil court. It should be a criminal fucking court.
He willfully hit that man with his car.
So they do end up going to court, and the case looks really bad for Homer because he fucking ran Gil over. Who was the blue-haired guy the lawyer of? Gil?
Gil,
yep.
And then Homer's lawyer, whose name I don't remember,
popped up a few times.
Yeah, has popped up the few times as the like lawyer on TV lawyer.
Yep.
The black guy with the mustache and the bald head.
Yep, he like kind of like the ambulance chaser lawyer.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
So the case looks really bad right away, but after he gets on the stage or stand and tells the jury that he hit Gil to avoid hitting a dog, they really warm up to Homer because this whole fucking country has lost its mind when it comes to dogs.
This was one where I was like, okay, I'm with you on what you're saying.
This is like grumpy old Simpsons writers, but I'm with them on this one.
I'm with them on this one.
People are too
100%.
fucking nuts about their dogs. So they warm up to Homer, and to the point, Homer is found not guilty. Poor fucking Gil gets nothing. Except he gets trampled.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And the story of this court case makes the news, and Homer becomes kind of a minor celebrity because he's America's favorite dog owner, because he almost killed a man to avoid hitting his dog. Yep. And people travel. Like, people are coming to Springfield to see this man out walking his dog. Mayor Quimby hears about this and decides to capitalize on it by making Springfield the most dog-friendly city in America. And we get a really good montage here of just ludicrous, like the cops having seemingly unlimited power.
Yeah,
like they're arresting the dog catcher.
They have a people catcher.
Yep.
A people catcher's van.
Yep. They arrest anyone that stops a dog from not hitting a dog, but just from letting the dog do whatever it wants.
It's unbelievable.
And they arrest the old veterinarian. It's interesting how the old veterinarians become a character.
Yeah, he keeps showing up. I love that scene of them arresting him because they're like, you're under arrest for denying a dog its teeth cleaning while you instead saved a racehorse's life.
Yeah.
That's an arrestable offense in the new Springfield.
And isn't it something too about he had the nerve to keep dogs in cages or something like that too?
Yeah, and then when we came in, we found dogs in cages. Yeah. Listen, people like their pets. Mm-hmm. I've a cat right here.
Yeah.
But
it's out of hand. Your dog isn't a human.
Right.
Just, you got to somehow fucking rectify that, like
I'm sure you love your pet. I love mine. But they're less than
you can
humans.
Legit buy one at the mall tonight. You can go get an Orange Julius, a new backpack, and a fucking dog. You can't do that with people. There's a fucking difference.
Don't go into a massive amount of debt to replace a dog's hip.
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
And the old veterinarian dude kind of becomes part of the storyline. He's like the guy that he knows the truth and he lets them know what their downfall will be.
Yeah, he's the scientist in a disaster movie.
Yeah. Because the whole thing is like if you let them do whatever they want, they won't see you as masters anymore, and they'll form a new pack hierarchy.
They'll revert to wolves.
Yeah, to their wolf ancestors. Yeah. And by God, if that's not exactly what happens, the dogs just start destroying downtown Springfield. Like this whole time, Homer's in the bar, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yep.
A drunk Homer decides to walk home from Moe's and narrowly avoids getting torn to shreds by one of the dogs. And when he bursts into the house and just goes, "Kids, lower the purge armor." God, that got a laugh out of me.
We don't have purge armor. I've been meaning to pick it up after the day after the purge because it's always cheaper.
That was pretty good.
I like those movies quite a bit.
So the dogs are a complete menace. They have to hold a town meeting where they realize they discuss how the dogs are out of control. The still shackled veterinarian lets them know that someone will have to stand up to the pack to prove that they are the alpha. And I think it's during this. Oh no, it's at this time Gil volunteers.
Yep.
By God, Gil, he's gonna show Springfield that he has some worth.
And at some point, Homer goes, he's earned the right to redeem himself when he's done nothing wrong.
Yep.
Which is so funny. Yeah, he's not. This isn't redemption. He didn't do anything wrong. You hit him with your car on purpose.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bart and Lisa are worried about Santa's little helper. He's been gone with the pack for quite a while now. So they sneak out to find him. Like, well, who can help us? Who's the one person that can help, get us through a pack of dogs? Crazy cat lady.
Fuck yeah, crazy cat lady. I was bummed that she wasn't in this very long.
Yeah, she's gone pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think basically she just shepherds them to where they need to go to find the dog.
Yeah, she's in it for 20 seconds.
Is it like an abandoned kind of
dog
cemetery? Yeah, there we go. And they're out looking for the dog. And this is another one, not a lot of the kids.
Yeah.
Well, a real parent, adult-centric show so far. So they're in that dog park looking for Santa's little helper, and they're soon swarmed by the pack. And we find out that Milhouse's little teacup chihuahua is the pack leader, which that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Do we get a name for it? Taquito, there we go. And Bart at one time mentions what Milhouse did to get the dog. I can't remember what it was. Was it not wet his bed for 6 weeks or something like that?
6, yeah. Is it 6 weeks? I think it might be a week.
Is it?
It might be an embarrassingly low amount of time.
Some unique animation. We haven't got a lot of little dogs on The Simpsons. So the little chihuahua was the pack leader. Eventually, they chase Bart and Lisa up a tree. Things are looking pretty dark because there's a ton of fucking dogs, and they're all ready to rip them to bits. When things look at their most worrisome, Marge shows up, and Marge has had enough. It's like, this is enough of this. The little chihuahua comes and just growls at Marge. Marge fucking kicks that fucking dog like she's Morton Anderson. That dog goes so goddamn far. It's so great how far that dog goes.
Yep, just bumps the shit out of that chihuahua.
And then the rest of the dogs just fucking roll over. They just want their belly scratched now. They're no longer fearsome. So that was fucking good. Jesus, how quick Marge didn't hesitate to kick that little fucking dog.
Earlier when that dog is asserting dominance over Kirk Van Houten and he lays down on the grass and pulls his shirt up and is like, look, I'm exposing my belly. I'm showing submission. I'm exposing my belly. It's so fucking funny.
So good. There are some good scenes there where the city's getting overran.
As the dogs take over, yeah.
And one of my favorite things is fucking Gil showing up a fucking second too late to save the day.
Yep, he doesn't get his moment.
Oh, fuck. So I think Homer's with them. So now the family's kind of back together.
Yep.
And then there's poor fucking Gil. And does Gil get any kind of redemption?
No.
I was like, am I forgetting something? Do we let Gil fizzle out like this? And goddamn right we do.
I think they just show him at a bus stop begging for change to keep watching the television at the bus stop.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They won't take 2 dimes and a nickel.
It's gotta be a quarter.
Oh my God. Fucking A. I liked this episode.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did. It was ridiculous.
Yep. It was this is some old-fashioned Springfield losing its mind.
Yep.
like harkens back to the one where they wanted to be the new Hollywood. So they're inviting all like to make movies and shit.
Yeah.
Like they're just gonna change their town on a fucking, to do a complete 180.
Just to capitalize on things. Yeah. I liked way at the end too, like the whole family is hugging the dog, and like Snowball creeps in there and is like gives like a sad meow and puts her paw out, and Lisa's like, "You'll have your day."
Yeah.
I'm waiting on the cat episode.
Yeah.
I'll watch a cat episode. I loved the long and so dumb joke earlier when Santa's Little Helper is like halfway through the dog door and he collapses, and then Homer grabs that cat that's scratching him and shit and fighting against him, and it takes way too long, and he finally like grabs its paw and reaches it out and hooks a claw on the dog's collar and pulls it through the door, and then as soon as it collapses inside the door, he sets the cat down and goes, "Look what the cat dragged in." And there's just a beat, and both kids go, worth it, totally worth it.
Just very, like they weren't laughing. They like, yep, I get it. It was all worth it.
It's so dumb.
That was a very good,
It's so dumb, and it takes so long. And it's only funny if those kids say, "Oh yeah, worth it."
Yeah.
It's only funny if they point a light at it, and they do.
Yeah. And I like the choice to make it them not mock Homer or like roll their eyes.
Right.
They're
like, on board.
They agree. Yep,
like,
worth it.
We totally get it, Dad. Yep.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, solid episode.
Yeah, I like that one.
For this era, above solid, I'd say.
Yeah, it's also fucking bonkers episode.
Yeah.
The dogs took over the town. Like we don't get like super outlandish shit like that very often.
Yeah.
And just like that, we wrapped up another season, Nathan. Season 28 is in the bag. What's season 29 gonna hold for us?
Oh shit, I've done some deep research.
Oh, deep.
I've called all my sources.
Give it to me, Daddy.
I've emailed, I've sent letters to long forgotten Hollywood icons. This is what I got back. Fun fact, this season marked the show surpassing Gunsmoke as the longest running scripted series by number of episodes, which when I first read it, I was like, that can't be right. Because I don't think Gunsmoke went much over 20, but I wonder if back in the day there were more episodes per season.
Seasons were longer.
Maybe 30 episodes a season or something back then.
Yeah, that must have been the case if it took them this long to do it.
Another thing that happened also in this upcoming season, in the February of 2018, The Simpsons were held back. There's like almost a whole month, a 9-week gap between new episodes, because in that span we had the Grammys, the Super Bowl, the Winter Olympics, and the Academy Awards.
Oh boy,
on consecutive Sundays. So this is the second season not to have any new episodes airing the entire month of February, because that was also a Winter Olympics. I had no clue Fox had the Winter Olympics.
I wonder if that. Are Olympics like the Super Bowl where a different network gets them every time?
I think you buy them for rights.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and the reason football rotates is because the 3 of the big networks have football in NFL in some capacity. So the handshake agreement is, okay, we just rotate it, But no, I know, like, fuck it. NBC has had the Summer Olympics.
I was about to say, when I think Olympics, I think NBC.
Yeah, they've had Summer Olympics, I think, almost my entire life. But winter has bounced around. When I was a little kid, I remember CBS being the home of the Winter Olympics.
I don't know that I've ever watched the Winter Olympics. Like, not ever.
I've never, and I don't dislike, it's because I sit down and there's something going on for a gold medal and it's neck and neck. I don't give a fuck. I'm engaged.
No matter what it is.
I'm not like, oh, fuck, Olympics week's here. Let's fucking plan our week around it. Like, one of my weird Olympic memories is always being a little kid waiting for the bus or like waiting to get sent out the door for the bus.
Sure.
And just the Olympics being on because they're on some other corner of the planet. So our 7:30 a.m. is their 8 p.m., you know, like just watch. I remember just clearly have a memory in a kid of a little Korean man weightlifting. Like, it's like, look at that little guy. He's like probably as tall as I am. Like,
oh, the bus is here.
Yeah. Hey, if that little Korean man can lift that much weight, I can do anything.
I get into Olympics mode for the Summer Olympics.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, mostly just because I like to watch the basketball. Like, I like to watch the fucking NBA Dream Team get together and crush fucking Trinidad and Tobago's,
until they don't.
Right.
Which makes for good
apart.
TV too. Like, holy shit, the French are going to beat the U.S. Like, did that happen just last year? Last Winter Olympics? Did we not take the gold in basketball? I thought it was recently.
That sounds right. Either this last one or the one before that. Yeah.
Like, I think Spain or France won. Because Spain had it for so long where they had both of the Gasol brothers who were like 7'1" monsters. Like, so yeah. I
like whatever Olympics that was, probably 2012-ish, where it was, I forget where it was from, but me and my buddies were like waking up at 3:30 in the morning to watch basketball and like drinking beer with breakfast and watching the shooty hoops.
I remember it was a while back, probably maybe like a 10th anniversary special on the 92 Dream Team with Magic and Michael. And they talked about when they played Angola. Have you heard this story? Angola, not a geography whiz, little country in Africa. And they met them because they were very cordial because everyone's, oh, cool, we get to meet these guys. They weren't and Angola was like, weirdly, I don't know if racist is the right word, but they were like, hey, our little brothers. They kept saying little brothers, our little brothers. As if like,
okay.
And I do not want to be, far be it from me to start speaking of inner African racism. I don't think I'm the voice for that talk. But like Charles Barkley was like, he was like, what the fuck are you gonna? They go like just talking to them like they're kids, and they're like they took the gloves off. They're up by like 85. Like, they were fucking playing like full court defense. It's ridiculous to watch. Like they
just trounced.
Fucking proved a point against them.
Yeah, I like seeing Olympic basketball and like the other summer ones. Like, boy, he sure can throw that shot put far. That's fun. There's way more summer games that I'm like that about than winter games.
See, for me,
when I think winter, I almost think X Games. I think of like snowboarding and shit. Yeah. But like, I'm pretty sure most of that is in the X Games.
Yeah. They do have snowboarding now, but a lot of it's skiing.
Sure.
Just fucking straight downhill, slaloms, this and that.
I like watching the ski jump because that jump is so ridiculous. And like the pose, the form that they do is so ridiculous looking.
There's a ski jump. There's the bones of a giant ski jump in rural North Dakota. I don't know if any of it's left. By Devil's Lake, someone built a ski jump in the 30s. Like some guy, I guess, was good enough. They thought he had a shot at the Olympics. So they band together and built this dude a ski jump. And for the longest time, the frame of it, but it might be gone now. But like, what a thing. Like, Jesus Christ. Having your local neighbors build, like, I love my neighbors. I want to hire contractors who have built 45 other ski jumps. Like,
I guess I've never thought of that. How are you going to practice?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Ramp?
Well, that's why like those sports are so often dominated by like Italian guys or Scandinavians that live in the mountains.
We got one nearby.
Yep, right. Yeah, my house juts up to a natural ski jump.
Just tripping over ski jumps all over the place. Oh man, I tripped over that ski jump and fell on this ski jump.
So we're getting to this point again. I'm a broken record. Outside of the usual suspects, the Simpsons, Sundays, or they're entrenched. They've been entrenched for decades now, but they did get paired with a couple new things that were here today, gone tomorrow. One was a sitcom called Ghosted. This triggering anything for you?
No.
Starring Adam Scott and Craig Robinson. I would watch that show.
Yeah. What is it about? What is that show?
Looking at it, it must have had some kind of paranormal bent, because I think in the poster they're like holding flashlights and looking scared into the distance. So I don't know if they were paranormal investigators, but it's like, yeah, man, like, I've said it many a time while going over this. A lot of these shows I remember just from the ad campaign. I literally saw 200 ads for Last Man on Earth.
Because you watch so much football on Fox. Yeah.
I don't ever remember hearing anything about this show.
Yeah, no clue.
The other show that debuted that Sunday that year was that Seth MacFarlane sci-fi show called The Orville.
Sure, yep. Star Trek, but a comedy.
Yep. And I assumed that was a here today, gone immediately. But that is still a Hulu original. That has found a second life in streaming. Yeah. Huh. I mean, I kind of like it. I mean, I never saw it, but I like shit like that because it's going for, it's a high concept.
Yep. Love a high concept.
Sitcom in space. Outside of Fox, another show that debuted, because we're getting kind of caught up enough that it's not like I remember, when that
Sure.
With the one we got this year that I think was of some note was Young Sheldon, which is a ratings juggernaut.
Oh my God. How are we here already?
Young Sheldon's already in season 6. And I think it was this fall. I was home. Parents still have cable. They had reruns on. I watched 3 episodes of Young Sheldon. I'm going to go on record. Not that bad at all.
Oh, yeah?
Perfectly fine sitcom.
Perfectly just oatmeal sitcom.
Yep, but not bad. And hot take alert. I also, that same weekend, sat through some, I think they were later, because I remember thinking, the nerds look older. They was later on Big Bang Theory. I was laughing. It wasn't great, but it was fun. Better than your average sitcom. I'd confidently say that.
There's a pretty good chance that I've never seen an episode of The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, I you come across a clip on Facebook or something like that, but I bet I've never seen a front to back episode of that show.
I think I just assume anything funny on CBS is god awful, so I just assume all of it is, and that it's all trash. Which. Are you one that'll stand a little bit for How I Met Your Mother?
No. I watched the first 4 or 5 seasons on Netflix, and I was on board for most of it until about through 4 or 5 I got this is all the same, man. Yep. It started to feel like work, like some shows do. Yep. But there were good parts of it. Jason Segel's very funny, but he's funny in everything. Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris is great on that show.
Neil Patrick Harris, a real ladies' man, right? That's his thing.
That's his thing on that show. Is that he's a lady killer. Yeah.
In reality. Likes the fellas, is what I hear.
Yep.
Am I talking out of school there?
Big fan of the fellas.
Big fan of the fellas.
Neil Patrick Harris, in particular, his husband, I believe. He's a big fan.
Big fan of his husband, his spouse.
Yeah, big fan of being a happily married man and father.
He found his fella, and good for him.
Yeah.
So those are the shows that made an appearance or came around in 2017. What didn't come back that year was Two Broke Girls.
Oh,
another
what's
CBS
her name?
show.
Kat Jennings.
Yeah.
I like her.
Lasted 7 seasons.
Married to Andrew W.K.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think fairly recently those two got married.
Well, good for Andrew.
I like her.
7 seasons. That means they'll be riding syndication money till their bones are ground into mulch.
Well, I'm sure his streaming residuals for that I Get Wet record are still pretty good. Yeah. People got to still be listening to Party Hard every once in a while, don't they?
But the trouble is you don't get dick for music. For TV, syndication rights, that's where the money is.
True, but I'm saying that song is so big that he probably makes more than she does.
I'd love to.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Shit.
I was going to say,
making a funny.
I wish this was true. I was naive enough to think, really? Spotify changed their ways?
No.
I'm going to go re-edit that email I was about to send.
he gets 1/500th of a penny every time somebody listens to Party Hard.
That I would love to know, because that is a song that it's probably going to always have spins forever.
Yep.
What do you think he makes a year or a month? $100 a month?
I bet it's more than that, but I bet it's negligible.
Yeah,
I bet
that's wild.
And like he doesn't only have the
but
one song.
He has one song that plays a bunch. Yep.
Right. For all intents and purposes, he has one song.
I'd love, like, what the fuck does a band like the Gin Blossoms? They got 5 or 6 songs that were big hits in the 90s.
Yep.
They're not like iconic. They're not All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Right.
Like, I wonder what the Spotify check for the principal songwriter of those songs is.
I bet it helps them that like every 90s playlist that anyone makes, be it Spotify itself or a user, at least a couple of their songs are on there.
yeah.
So I'm sure that helps. But yes, I'd love to see the numbers.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Back, when was it? Last year or 2 years ago when all the comedians left or got booted off of Spotify over those rights issues, Kyle Kinane put out on Twitter, like, just posted screenshots. Here's my income from Spotify and from the other one, Pandora. And, like, Pandora pays better, but neither of them pay well.
Can you remember ballpark a number?
I don't off the top of my head. It was a number where if you were just Joe Schmo sitting at home making that much, it was a number I have worked for less.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
As a half college educated, like kind of unskilled person, I have worked for less.
But like not comfortably, you're not fucking shoveling gold and like you're not Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah,
in it.
no, he wasn't Scrooge McDucking on his Spotify money.
Fascinating. Like I'd love, I'm sure there's some logarithm that they use to justify how much they don't pay everyone, you know? Like,
yeah, I don't know what the math is. I'd love to see them show their work. Like, why is this way?
It's awesome that they found a way to fuck artists over more than when they were selling physical. Because even in those days, they weren't making shit.
Yeah.
But it's still way more than they make now.
Yeah. The only advantage to the way it is now is exposure. Like, more people can discover you and therefore hopefully come to a show next time you're in their city.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where every comic makes their money is merch and ticket sales. No one makes it on their records or their specials. The that spat with the comedians was someone finally brought it up of if you're in a band and you put your music on Spotify, you get 2 checks. The songwriter gets one and the artist gets one. So the band gets a check and the guy who wrote it gets a check. And they weren't paying comedians for the writing. They were only paying them as artists.
Oh,
and not
interesting.
as writers. And they were like, this is fucked up, right? Like, we write all of this. Like, why don't you pay us like bands?
Yeah.
And Spotify's reaction was to kick all of them off of Spotify.
That's wild.
For a long time. Like,
or are they coming back now?
Yeah, like most of the comedians who like I listened to and had saved in my Spotify like showed back up a few months ago.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know if they like came to an
Some
agreement,
kind of agreement?
or Spotify was just like, we'll put you back on, I guess. Still get fucked, but I don't know.
Huh. Wow, that's a roundabout way from starting with 2 broke girls. Look at us go.
We did get a lot. How did we? Oh, Andrew WK.
Yep, he's off in the.
It always all comes back to Andrew WK. I Get Wet's a good album all the way through. I'll say it. It's not just party hard.
Really?
Yeah, I Get Wet is good all the way through.
I've never given the whole thing a spin.
You really should.
He deserves it.
Today.
He deserves it.
Yes. He needs those residuals.
This is a thing I noticed for shows that didn't come back. This was not a hit. It was a 1 year and gone. Did you know that the year prior to this, like 2016, there was a short-lived CBS drama based off of Training Day. I mean, called Training Day, starring Bill Paxton.
I had no idea.
Bill Paxton played the Denzel Washington role as like the crooked veteran cop. Yep. It was his last starring role in anything. Like he passed away like as they were wrapping up filming of it.
That's fucking weird.
Right? And I was like, no shit.
I want to watch that.
Again,
see what that even is.
Guy doesn't watch CBS. You don't see ads for shit like that.
Yeah, that's
like,
true. Yeah.
I remember like 3 Super Bowls ago, I made sure my antenna got CBS to watch the Super Bowl, and I saw 75 ads for The Equalizer starring Queen Latifah. So in my head, for the rest of the time, I will know, like, hey, who started that Equalizer remake? Goddamn Queen Latifah did.
I know, because I watched one football game on CBS that year.
Remember that TV show that a 55-year-old out of shape woman beat up muggers all the time? Yeah, it was Queen Latifah on The Equalizer on CBS.
What was there was one, I had the same experience with a Super Bowl either last year, maybe the year before, where they were plugging some manner of Journey to the Center of the Earth show, or something with dinosaurs.
Yep.
It had a blonde lady sucked into a prehistoric time.
It was a Fox show.
Yeah, maybe that was
it. Was serious, right? It was supposed to be like
it seemed serious.
Lostian levels of seriousness. Yep. That Fox pushed the shit out. I remember that from football, too.
Yep, and that was one of those where, like, I'll watch the Super Bowl. Why not? I don't give a fuck, but I'll watch it. And being like, boy, they are pushing the shit out of whatever this show
I'm sure
is.
that was a big budget show for them. You know?
I'm sure.
Yeah. There's a couple other things I wanted to mention for things that lasted a long time. One of which is a show called fucking Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, is that on HBO?
No, this is all networks. I don't look at any cable.
True Blood.
There you go.
Which is also a vampire show.
Something called Vampire Diaries lasted 8 seasons. It might have been WB or CW.
Oh, sure.
So it's like probably aimed at teens.
Yeah, everyone's real attractive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another show which I think you have mentioned you enjoyed was Bones. This is the first year without Bones. Or am I wrong? You weren't a Bones man.
I've never seen Bones, but I love Bones because it's cool to see David Boreanaz getting work. And I love Angel.
Oh, that's what you loved. Okay.
I love the other David Boreanaz show. So I remember when Bones first was getting, again, like, see ads during football games, like, Angel's got a new show, good for him. And then to see that be a huge success, I was always like, hell yeah, good for him.
You know what they say to the star of Bones when he gets off the plane in Hawaii? Aloha Borealis.
That doesn't even work because his name's not Borealis,
isn't it? I thought that's what you said his last name was.
Boreanaz.
I mean, come
There's
on.
an N and a Z.
There's these ethnic names. Who can be bothered?
Don't say ethnic.
Aloha Borealis.
Okay, sure. Yeah. You know what?
I'm just tired.
Aloha Borealis.
Nailed it.
Sure, that's in the ballpark.
I know
we
try to keep the mood jovial. We like to goof. We like to horse around, farting around. That's what we say.
I feel
a lot
like you're
here.
about to put the brakes on the goof around.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be tough on you because I know we have some good memories of this. But
9/11.
This is also this is the first time in 15 years that The Apprentice wasn't on the air.
Oh, yeah.
I know you loved
one out.
The celebrities trying to fucking sell Cinnabons in the airport. That was riveting television. Yeah. I guess Trump got himself a better gig. Yeah. Running the world.
What a different life we would all be living.
I think that show'd still be. I bet that show'd still be on. He ain't going anywhere.
I'm shocked they didn't just replace him.
They tried to. Didn't they try to use Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened there, but I don't know. I think the show was just tainted after that. Like, president's too big. You can't have that. You can't have fun with a guy that was. There's a reason none of those guys are hosting fucking bloopers and practical jokes. Like,
oh man, how good would it be though?
Yeah,
fucking Jimmy Carter hosting America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah. He had to have committed some war crimes even in those 4 years.
But that fella sure did get hit in the ween.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
I don't know that that's what Jimmy Carter sounds like, but it's as good as I can do.
I bet Jimmy Carter's in a lot of pain. He's in his late 90s.
Yeah, he's sore from building houses for people.
Doing more than I am at my.
Jimmy Carter is twice the man you are.
Oh my God!
At twice your age.
Yeah, shrinking. Yeah. He can watch himself shrink, and yet he goes out there every day and puts on soffits.
All of his bones get smaller every day.
He's feeling his bones shrink,
and he is twice the man you are.
His body is screaming for death.
Is Billy Carter still alive?
No, Billy Carter dead.
Oh,
yeah.
Drinking Billy beer with in heaven.
Drinking 20 fucking hams a day isn't good for you.
He was a PBR man.
Was he PBR man? Yeah. Oh, that seems on brand.
I think he even let slip in a few interviews like, I don't drink Billy beer. I'm
really?
PBR man.
Yeah. That's good. Appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
We need a president with a shithead brother. We haven't had one since Clinton.
Since Bill,
Yeah. Well, Roger.
Yeah,
is that guy's name?
Bill was the president.
Oh, yeah. But like Roger was the shithead brother, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're overdue. Everyone's too clean now. They don't let any shithead hillbillies slip in through the back door anymore. I mean, fucking Trump, but the whole thing.
They just let a shithead.
But he was the shithead. Like,
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like, because he doesn't feel any shame for his shithead kids,
right?
Because they're his fucking flunkies. You know, like he's
true.
Shredder. They're fucking Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, I like the Ninja Turtles villains. Don't do that. You could have picked any other. You could have said he was Cobra, and the other ones were.
And don't see you're struggling.
Cobra villains.
Yep, you're struggling. You gotta have.
I never watched G.I. Joe. You could have said he's Megatron, and the other ones are Soundwave and Starscream.
Yeah. No, man, you gotta just accept the fact that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles worked out the best.
Oh.
They have 2 primetime male henchmen.
Yeah. I'm pretty bummed about it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't. You would be the man to go to. Who would Ivanka be? Was there a female lackey to the?
Yeah, what's her fucking name? She's a ninja. She came later. Kai or something like that. Koi. No, it ain't koi. That's a fish. I forget her name, but essentially, like, maybe Shredder's daughter? A lady ninja. There is for sure a lady ninja. That might be the only female villain on that show now that I think about it.
Awfully sexist.
Yes. People think Ninja Turtles. They think sexism.
Why didn't April O'Neil have a katana blade?
They got a million fucking C and D squad dude villains.
Yeah.
Fucking Rat King, Baxter Stockman.
Holy good pull.
Ground Chuck. Meat Sweats.
Please tell me.
Yeah, that's a real one.
Is it really?
Yeah, not from the original cartoon, but in one of the reboots of the cartoons.
What?
He's a mutant pig who is a butcher and is voiced by John Cena.
No
and
shit.
is named Meat Sweats.
Oh my God. That's the one thing the Turtles had going for. They could get so fucking gonzo because the concept is already insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and at some point, what if any animal you could name got the mutagen out of?
Yeah.
This one's Leatherhead. He's a crocodile.
Yeah. There was a giant manta ray later on.
Yep.
And some B Squad Ninja Turtle thing.
Yep. There was a frog.
I think there's a bad guy tapeworm in a really deep cut. I'm almost sure of that.
There's the pizza xenomorphs, which are just xenomorphs but made of pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
They had to put out an episode every week.
Yeah, right.
Man, and they got to sell toys.
The more toys they can crank out, the more they get bought.
Yeah.
Kids weren't looking with a discerning eye. They just wanted Ninja Turtles.
They just wanted bright colors and pizza advertisements. Well, that's a good recap of a long recap of what we got going on in the world.
It's a big time in history, 2017.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of reasons. It really is. Let's see how season 29 of The Simpsons treats us with episode 1, The Surfsons. Like surfs.
Did you know right away where this was going?
I figured it would be a medieval episode. That's all
That was my first thing. I didn't know if this would be tied in with anything.
It's tied into just a smorgasbord of random fucking medieval pop culture.
Are we getting any Lord of the Rings here? I'm so out of the loop on that shit.
We get a real brief Hobbit gag mention.
More so Game of Thrones?
It is mostly Game of Thrones. If Game of Thrones takes up the biggest slice of the pie chart on what they're referencing with this, but mostly kind of just the vibes of feudal fiction.
Yeah. And if you're not a history nut, the serfdom era, not a fun time to be alive.
No, especially if you were in the serfdom class. Seemed okay if you were a rich person.
Yeah, they were living all right.
So we get the Simpsons. They, of course, are serfs. The theme song, by the way, aping pretty hard the Game of Thrones theme song. Lisa, fed up with feudalism, they get fucking Rainier Wolfcastle crashes through their hovel and like makes Homer kiss the feet of the horse before crashing through the opposite end of the hovel. Hovel? Hovel?
Hovel?
Okay.
Hovel.
Like novel.
Hovel?
The hovel novel? Lisa has this speech about how feudalism is a bad structure to have. And then they get all excited to go look at the heads on pikes. They put up new heads on the pikes outside of town. So they go look at those. We visit Marge's. Marge's mom has a weirdly big role in all this.
Most we've seen Grandma Bouvier in a long time.
100%.
Top 2 most we've ever seen her, I bet. Because there's the one that's real, where she's dating Abe.
Yes, there's that one where it's real heavy on her. Marge's mom got bit by a White Walker, which is from Game of Thrones, but liked it. Like, she's not complaining.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he was really giving it to me or whatever she said. We need 100 gold pieces for this fire amulet that will keep her alive. We also, mostly right here, reference medieval video games like Skyrim or World of Warcraft.
I didn't even know Skyrim was a medieval setting game. I just learned something.
Skyrim's swords and
wizards
and dragons and shit. Yeah, all of those Elder Scrolls games are. Bethesda make the Elder Scrolls games that are all sword and sorcery, and they make the Fallout games that are all nukes and guns. And they're kind of the same game, but in the different setting.
That Fallout of shit fun.
I like the Fallout games.
Looks like it'd be fun.
I like the Elder Scrolls games.
I know this isn't a fucking video game podcast.
It's about to be for a few minutes, I feel.
What are the Far Cry games like? They look like they could be fun.
The Far Cry games are fun, or were fun for a while. Like 1 and 2, they were getting it figured out. They're a little esoteric. 3, 4, 3 and 4, they really hit their stride. Like first-person shooting in a jungle. A lot of like climb this tower to reveal this part of the map and then go do all the things that are in the map and go move on to the next one.
Okay.
Kill this Komodo dragon and make a bigger ammo pouch out of it. A lot of that. And 4 was more of that. 5, they tried it in America, which was like a good idea that they didn't really do anything with. It's like weirdo religious cults in Montana.
That's the one that I was thinking of. I was like, that looks fucking wacko.
Yeah. They also really leaned into it being bonkers. There's a lot of like, fucking set all these geese on fire while you're on a wingsuit. Woo! Like, there's a lot of that kind of shit in there, which is fun, but I mean, it's a video game. But real buggy. Had a lot of buggy problems.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I can't finish this mission because the dot that I'm supposed to drive to isn't here, so I guess I'll go fuck myself.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. That happens in today's day and age with video games.
Oh, yeah. More so than ever because they're under such crunch to push them out as fast as they can.
Really? I had
and
no clue.
sometimes they don't patch them,
Yeah.
That's the advantage they have now is that they can patch after release. If you got a bad game on a Nintendo cartridge, you just had a bad game.
Your mom made a bad choice.
Yeah.
You just can't be picking from the KB Toy 1999 pile.
That's why you had to take ET back to the stores in the Atari days. So they do have that advantage. And 6 I haven't played, but apparently from what I've heard, 6 is more the same. You know what a Far Cry game is when you're at 6.
Did young Marlon own any absolute horseshit Nintendo games?
Oh, for sure. The first one that comes to mind is the Blues Brothers. That was a tough one.
An NES Blues Brothers game? No. Yeah. Jesus Christ, they made it. That's so far in. It's perfectly between the first one and that Nightmare 2000 make.
Yeah.
So they made an NES cartridge for the Blues Brothers.
Yep.
Why? Who was the audience for that?
I mean, I bought it.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's a, like side platformer.
Okay.
Like fucking everything else.
Yeah. Throwing harmonicas?
No, I think just jumping.
Okay.
I don't think you have a weapon.
Okay.
Now that I'm thinking about it. But it's also been a long fucking time, so I couldn't tell you for sure. I got to find 1992 that damn thing came out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. What else? I had to have had more fucking turds in the punch bowl. There's again, a real fucking late model cross-generation Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, which is a fighting game, but with the Ninja Turtles characters that they put out for Super Nintendo and then put out a bad version for the NES
No
just
shit.
to sell a few more.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those cross-generational ones. And that wasn't any good.
Because I think I remember playing the Super Nintendo
It's
version.
good on the
and
Super
thinking that's
Nintendo.
fun. Yeah.
But
I think I only had one. Oh, this game's broken for Nintendo, and we got it secondhand somehow. It was Magic Johnson's Fast Break. Back
Okay.
when that was the thing. Like there would be no other teams, there'd be no other players. There's just the face of the guy who's getting paid,
Yep.
Magic Johnson. Everyone else is made up. But we got that game, and I think either me or my brother realized if you made the first basket, you could just steal the inbounds pass and dunk it over and over again until the clock ran out. So the score would always be 280-0.
awesome. I love a good broken old game.
Like that was not that was designed that way. It's not like we got the inside of the cartridge wet, like that came out of the womb fucked.
Yeah. You didn't break it. It was broken to start.
So that first possession or that tip off was so fucking tense. Just me and him shoulder to shoulder, like
Mashing on the A button or whatever.
Gotta make that first basket.
You should have just quit then.
And he was too little to do that. He gets so mad. You think nope, I'm just gonna crush the steel button. I'm gonna get it every time. Good. Yeah. I bet that game cost $50 in 1989.
Yep.
That's like, what, 150 now? Like, look at that. Like, fucking a day and a half's wages to buy that broken horse shit for your kids.
Well, that's the thing, though. Video games haven't really changed in price. Like, video games are $60 new.
Ain't that something?
PlayStation's playing around with $70 for some of their new first-party titles, and people don't seem thrilled, so maybe they'll go back to $60.
But isn't that something? How video games have stayed a static? Like I'm pretty sure Mario 3 cost $60 in 1990.
Yep.
Think of that. Like, what else? What hasn't went up in price? TVs. TVs are cheaper now than they were 30 years ago.
True.
Because a million companies make them.
Yeah, they're easier to make now.
Yeah,
too.
they don't involve fucking 45 pounds of lead or whatever had to go into making an old ass tube TV.
Oh, fucking old tube TV, man. God.
Yep.
Never again.
Yeah. Something was in them that we shouldn't have been sharing a room with.
Maybe that's our smoking.
That's our asbestos.
People look back. And what were they doing?
Kept them in their homes.
So Marge's mom, bit by that White Walker, they need 100 gold pieces for a fire amulet to save her life. They're like, maybe we'll sell the possessions, all of our possessions, including the gelatinous cube. And I got such a good laugh out of the gelatinous cube.
A reference I should get.
Probably not. The gelatinous cube is an infamous villain or enemy character in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The gelatinous cube it absorbs, like if you try to attack it, it absorbs you or your weapon. Or gelatinous cubes in the world of D&D notoriously hard to kill. They're super slow moving and whatnot, but tough to fucking
just
deal
avoid
with.
them.
Yeah, just run. Yeah. So I love that we get the gelatinous cube. I was like, look at that. There's one for the nerds. Gelatinous cube, by the way, has the cat skeleton inside of it and is just like, well, he shouldn't have tried to nap on me.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, that was good.
Homer is just like, do we really need to save your mom? And Marge throws him out.
She's already old.
We get a prank Raven call at Moe's.
Yep.
Like sends a Raven with a note, and Moe's like, hey, has anyone seen my lady parts? That's fun. That's a good joke. We get Homer at the power plant, the medieval power plant, where we find out, like, he goes and talks to Mr. Burns, who, wanting money for his mother-in-law to save her life, and Burns is like, no, and then we learn that, like, it's, you turn the wheel while Willie whips you. At one point, he has a cat of nine tails with all rakes on the end, which is too far.
Yeah.
And Burns explains, you ever notice how the wheel isn't connected to anything?
That's good, too.
And Homer being like, oh, I never. And Burns explains that it's not connected to anything, but it makes enough misery that they can collect from the air, and then rich people snort this misery powder, which causes them to grow tiny wings that don't do anything. I love that explanation.
And I the same question I had there. The tiny wigs, is that a call to anything or
not
no?
a clue?
Yeah,
maybe it is.
Just a good laugh, a good visual.
God, such a good laugh. Yeah. It's at this point we also get Aslan, the Jesus lion from Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Thank you. I was like, that's gotta be. That's the one reference. Like, oh, I think, and I'm sure I was somehow, I know the term Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Were those books your teacher would read you in school or something? Or were they just a library book kids would check out?
I don't know. Like, we certainly never, like, read them as part of school. Like, we never, I think they were just popular children's books.
Yep.
You know? I think you were on your own for Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay. I think I maybe remember seeing a cartoon version of it.
Sure, yeah. And then they went on to make those huge movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They made big movies about that. Yeah. Like.
But yeah, Aslan the lion is a Jesus allegory. Yeah. So they like really drive it home here where he's like a fucking Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, pretty
like,
much, yeah.
Knocking on people's doors, trying to spread the word.
Have you heard the good news?
I think that's fun.
Yeah.
Lisa reveals that she is a wizard and turns Homer's lucky lead lump into a gold lump. And now they have money to pay for the amulet. She kind of does this in secrecy because, like, oh, I don't want to get sent away to the wizard school or whatever. And I was like, don't turn this into Harry Potter. And they don't.
Yeah.
To their credit. Marge has to convince her mom to wear this amulet they went through so much work for because she's like, I'm done. Like, I'm old.
I don't need,
Let me die. And Marge pleads with her, and finally she breaks and wears it. So now she's alive, but miserable. Grandma Bouvier just like sitting around like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm alive. That's what you wanted so fucking bad. Now what are we doing? Which I thought was a fun, okay. That's when the wizards show up and they take Lisa away because they detected that she's a wizard and all the wizards have to go to the wizard tower and do magic for the rich people, apparently. Homer, not going to take this sitting down. He riles up all the pores with a big old speech, and they march. This is fun. They march on the castle. Oh, I think I missed it, but there is a Hobbit reference where Marge is like, "Oh, we'll cook Hobbit," and they got the 3 hobbits in the cage. And she's gonna cook one of them. We get the other Lord of the Rings reference here, unless these are from somewhere else, but I mean, definitely from Lord of the Rings, the Ents, the tree people.
Oh, yep.
Because they're all the pores are storming the castle and they hit the wall and they're like, fuck. And then the Ents roll in and are like, well, we can knock that down, no problem. And then it smash cuts to them building ladders out of all of the Ents. Yeah. And Homer planes that one's face off.
Yeah, that was
just
good.
Like, oh, shut up. Trees can't talk. Yeah. And just planes that thing's face off. So they climb up the ladders into the castle. That's when Wolfgang shows up on a dragon and fucks shit up. So he's setting everything on fire. And then Grandma Bouvier's like, well, I can help this, and ditches the amulet, turns into ice, which is what that amulet was holding back from her White Walker bite way earlier. And just like dives into the dragon's mouth and puts out its fire, and the dragon dies. And then, like, a weird quick wrap-up of, like, well, since the dragon's dead, there's no magic anymore. And Lisa being like, good, that means we can, like, turn to science and whatnot. And she gives this whole speech about science and logic and reason rather than dumb magic. And then it cuts back, or the camera swings over to Homer, who's, like, putting firewood, building a fire inside this dragon's mouth, and he lights it, and it resurrects the dragon. Like, oh, we got fire, or we got magic back. Thank God. Shut up, Lisa.
Yeah, what's the why do they want to keep the magic? Would life be worse with science?
Yeah, Lisa's explaining like it's going to be way harder work, but like it'll be nice to like understand things rather than just snap our fingers and have it. You know, like she's taking a very high road for it, and them just being like, I love that. Homer just frantically throwing firewood into this dead dragon's open mouth. Not a fan. No, it was fine. Like a couple good like deep cut references that are fun. The one time we see Moe's bar, you see George R.R. Martin come walking by, and he has a sandwich board on that says the end is not nigh because he's never going to finish the fucking book. So I was like, okay, that's fun. I didn't mark down who he is or where he shows up, but the guy who plays Jaime Lannister is a guest voice here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where, because looking back, like, where would he show up? Yeah.
It's very family-centric.
Yeah, it's like the family, Rainier, Mr. Burns, Bouvier. Like, I don't know who they had him play, but he's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Not quite. What's the one? What's the one from like 3 seasons ago where they really lean into like
Homeland?
Homeland.
It's not the Homeland.
It's not episode. Homeland bad, but it ain't good.
But it is another The Simpsons are doing a blank, you know, where they just commit and do one. I think that this occurred to me while I was watching this. I think that these like, the Homeland episode, the 30 for 30, the medieval one. I think these replace those 3-part anthology episodes where it's like, we're doing 3 Bible stories this time, or 3 boat stories.
Just like the 3 public domain stories that we don't have to pay for.
I think that these replace those.
Yeah, they kind of did with the timing of every season we get one.
Yep, I think that's what they're doing now. Also, like this just seems or feels to me, and always feels more like a Family Guy thing.
Yep, very good call.
So, like, whatever. I wasn't arms crossed mad. I was just like, okay.
Just wasn't seething in front of your computer.
There was enough in here. There was enough, like, nerd shit for me to be like, gelatinous cube.
So I was lost on most of it.
Yay, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. I got the most basic bitch one. I got the Lion, the Witch, in the Wardrobe with a square. I'm never going to get invited to the suites at the Comic-Con.
Right, yeah. You're never, it's not a guarantee that you're going to crush puss at Comic-Con.
He didn't know about the gelatinous cube. Get him.
Yeah. They just point and laugh. They're just Nelsoning you.
Yeah. Let's see how episode 2 does. We have the title of Springfield Splendor, which has to be a play on American Splendor.
I guess. I've never seen it.
Oh, no doubt. You'd enjoy it.
Oh, yeah?
Good movie. I've never read the comic, but the movie's very good. I
didn't know it was a comic either.
Yeah, the movie's about the guy that made the Harvey Pekar, who made the comic books.
What's it about? What's the back of the VHS box?
About a man who met Harry Crumb in his, I don't know how old he was. He started making
the John Candy character?
No, who is, what is it? H. Crumb? I can't think of what his first name was. But, you're right. Who is Harry Crumb? That's a question we've all been asking.
Okay.
And he starts making a super indie comic out of, like, I think he's based in Cleveland or something like that. And then it kind of catches on. And he eventually started being a recurring guest on the old Letterman show. Not a celebrity at all, but he was just very cantankerous.
Okay.
And the interviews were very contentious, and Letterman loved it because it made for fun TV, you know? And then it's just that guy's life, played by Paul Giamatti. And like he ends up getting cancer during it. And he makes a whole comic called Our Cancer Year, which it's like really fucking not pulling the punches of how miserable he is and shit like that. And I like, and he just, and this just normal fucking kind of a loser ends up building this fucking world that everyone can read because those comics went for fucking years. Like, So yeah, and
I'd watch that.
Yeah,
I love Who's Harry Crumb.
Yeah.
So it sounds like I'd be into this.
I'm a man who loves 80s comedies, and I love John Candy. I've somehow never seen Who is Harry Crumb.
It's not my favorite one of his. It's not Uncle Buck. It's not The Great Outdoors.
I always feel Who is Harry Crumb was his chance at having a Fletch-like character.
Sure. Yep. Yep. Totally.
That was his chance. You can see it didn't do well. We didn't get Who is Harry Crumb too.
Apparently that new Fletch movie is super fucking good from what I've heard.
What in the what? A new Fletch movie?
Yeah, with John Hamm. John Hamm playing Fletch.
John Hamm is playing, no kidding.
And it's apparently outstanding from everything I've read.
And it's a movie, not a show.
I'm pretty positive, yes.
On just streaming, I'm sure, because that's all anything is now.
I'm sure it didn't come to a movie theater.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I want to see Fletch on the big screen. I'm a big Fletch guy. I came to it late. I have no nostalgia for Fletch. I didn't see it as a kid. I enjoy it because it's something that's so 80s about it that I enjoy.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You get Chevy Chase into his maximum ability.
I was going to say probably the best Chevy Chase.
Maybe leading role, I'd argue.
Sure.
Because I think he's good in shit like Caddyshack, but he's not the star.
Yeah.
It's a testament to his talent that he plays like quick-witted assholes so well.
Yeah.
But then he's also the dad on all the fucking National Lampoon Vacation movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Where he's just this fucking, aw shucks, fucking average,
innocent, schlubby
dad. Yep. Like,
I bet if you really put a gun to my head, my favorite Chevy Chase might be from Community as the horribly racist, sexist, but kind of doesn't mean it, like doesn't know any better old guy who's at community college.
Oh, he's not a teacher?
No, he's a student.
Oh, no. I've never seen an episode of that show.
Oh, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
Community's so good.
I had no clue. I assumed he was a professor or something.
No, he plays a student.
Huh.
I forget exactly why he's there. He's independently extremely wealthy, and I forget why he like invented wet naps or something like that. It's something crazy like that. But yeah, every line of dialogue out of him is like saying something awful and not realizing it.
I've always been told that's one of those shows like that, Parks and Rec. I've always been told I got to watch.
I love both of those shows. Yep.
Maybe it's just you telling me it.
Yeah, maybe it's just me all the time.
It's a later era Chevy Chase movie or role I like as the guy in that fixes the hot tub in the hot tub time machine.
Yep, totally.
And also, isn't he the doctor in the in Dirty Work? That's what they're raising money for in Dirty Work, I think.
Boy, I haven't seen Dirty Work in a long time.
Does that sound right? It feels like that's right.
Dirty Work's a good movie.
Yeah.
What's the Chevy Chase movie where he like gets radioactive goo spilled on him and becomes a superhero?
I am almost sure you made that up.
No, that's real.
I'm almost sure that can't be real.
Type Chevy Chase radioactive into that machine, and it will give you a real movie that really exists. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I've heard whispers.
What the fuck?
See? I told you.
Okay, let's read a little bit about this.
Cash or credit, motherfucker, to steal a Nathan Fulsebach line.
Let's see. Here we go. One night while driving home from a party that turned out to be held at a gay nightclub in Lower Manhattan, a tanker truck spills nuclear waste onto his car. Some of it splashes through his open sunroof, temporarily making him glow green before absorbing into his skin. The next day, he notices he's developed telekinesis. Max decides to use his new power to ruin Barry's attempts to woo Darcy. Ooh.
Yeah,
intrigue.
That's what I've heard, that it's one of those where, if you look at this through a modern lens, this is extremely creepy what he's doing.
1981. It's a movie called Modern Problems.
There we go. I would have never thought of the title.
Jesus, yeah. And I couldn't have been a hit. Like, there's no way I would have known about it.
You would have at least known it existed.
I would have known it existed if it was a hit in any way, yeah. Okay, we got time for a review. Here's what the New York Times had to say about modern problems. It's not that Modern Problems are so bad, though it is incredibly sloppy, but that it's the kind of movie that doesn't need reviews to find its audience. The members of that audience, whose inner clocks are set by their television habits, don't worry so much about consistency or point of view And, having short attention spans, they immediately forget the long, dull patches that separate the truly funny sequences. So that's 41 years ago.
Really came at the viewers there.
Really coming after this generation that's been rotted away by TV.
Yeah, hating on the MTVers.
This is a reminder that the same people now that are bitching about kids spending too much time on their phones, their parents were bitching about them spending too much time in front of a TV.
Yep, and before that, it was, you're spending too much time chasing that bike rim with your stick.
And before that, it was spending too much time caving in the skull of someone else with a dinosaur bone to steal their women.
We've always hated the next generation. Always.
The film was also cut prior to release to avoid an R rating, which upset the writers, who felt that many of the film's best laughs were lost. So maybe we need a director's cut of Modern Problems.
We need a Snyder cut of Modern Problems.
Pay for the Blu-ray. Maybe become Criterion Collection.
Oh my God! Yes, 100%. Give us what we want. Modern Problems unrated.
Okay, Jesus, how the hell did we get there? Oh my God, we didn't even get through. We got through the title of the episode. So, episode 2, Springfield Splendor. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we didn't get very far.
So Lisa's having a reoccurring dream about a locker, like a school, like pressure from school.
Fun visuals here.
Yep.
I like the locker nightmare.
Yep, and I remember having nightmares about school as a kid.
I don't know that I ever did.
I did. Papers handed in late or this or that kind of. The bus didn't show up.
Sure.
I couldn't get to school.
Naked.
Yeah, always naked.
One?
Always horny.
Well, that's not a dream.
That's me right now.
Why? Really likes Chevy Chase.
These Modern Problems. She clearly needs therapy of some sort, but the Simpsons simply can't afford it. They end up going to a community college, like the place I tell you to get your dental work done.
Yep.
But they can get your psychiatry work done while you wait.
They even make the dental work joke here with Lenny when he's coming out and he's like, "Yeah, I got a crown," and he reaches in and pulls it off, and they're like, "I don't think that's supposed to come out, Lenny."
Yeah, I forgot. You're right. Yeah.
Also, this a real thing.
That's
getting therapy work from therapy students.
I never thought of that, but it makes sense. They got to practice somewhere.
Yep.
So that's what they do. They sign Lisa up. It costs $7, which I love. There's like a shoebox when you walk in that you put the money in.
Yep.
So Lisa's telling this lady all of her problems. So we get a lot of gags just to how sloppy of an operation this is. Like the teachers behind one-way glass.
Well, that's fun. Yeah.
And she ends up telling Lisa that art therapy might be helpful.
I can't let you drive past this, but Lisa explains the dream. It's a dream about lockers. I think it's about school. She pulls that book off of the shelf that's dream interpretations and goes down this huge list where it's the left column is thing you dreamt about and right column is what does it mean.
Yeah.
Everything is either sex or death as far as what it means. She's scrolling down the list and I paused it a few times to get it's usually stuff that's diametrically opposed. Like there's a ketchup and a mustard. One means sex, one means death, whatever. As she's scrolling down, her finger goes past North Dakota and South Dakota. And North Dakota labeled death and South Dakota labeled sex.
Really?
And that is not my experience with either Dakota.
Yeah, we have longer than average life rates.
I think that South Dakota is the death state of the two of us. If one is sex and one is death, I think South Dakota is the death state.
They got those higher speed limits.
Yeah.
They're really fucking pushing it out there.
She also, towards the bottom, scrolls past Megadeth, and then that one is labeled sex. And then mega sex, which is labeled death with no A.
That's good.
DETH. Like, that's great. That's fun.
Isn't there one towards the end that finally breaks the pattern, or am I wrong?
It's locker school.
Yeah,
like, it's the one that she's here to look up. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
So the teacher tells Lisa, or the therapist tells Lisa, she should look into art as maybe a way that could be therapeutic. Did you ever get into drawing as a kid?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, as did I.
So, like charcoal mostly. I like charcoal.
This fucking
sketching.
French New Wave fucking this beret on.
Yeah, that's me. I like doing smudges.
They had to sell the fucking football that the school owned to pay for your beret.
None of this was at school.
Yeah.
There's no art in my school. This was at home. Like we didn't have art classes. We didn't have art anything.
Even in high school, no art, nothing.
No, God.
That's wild.
An art class in high school? No.
I would have failed high school without art. Arts would have kept my GPA above a 2.
My fucking school, either maybe my junior year, so 2002, decided to do away with study hall because they would rather just have you have another real class.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, what are they preparing you for? Like, no one's going to leave. Like,
right.
Do you think any of your classmates remember any of this
Absolutely
shit? No.
not.
What are you doing?
They had to just invent classes. Like, I don't know, this one's, we'll teach you Word, I guess. Like, all the teachers were scrambling because it's like, what are we supposed to?
All 4 of them.
Right. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And one of those teachers definitely illiterate, so they're
one of them definitely
they can't learn anything new.
Yeah.
One's a horse with a wig and a blouse,
and a graduation cap on.
Everyone, say hello to Mrs. Buttercup. She is fucking kicking that big metal desk over. Trying to force feed her an apple to calm her down.
Clumping on the tile. Shitting everywhere.
Yeah. Can we get a docile horse? Like,
why did you get a mean one? Yeah. So, like, I think the idea of even trying to imagine, we're going to have an art class at my school is so foreign to me. Like, the amount of bullying that class would have generated could have powered the school. It's not a thing that could have existed.
The art room, I don't know if it was something they put in the air, but they released something. I don't know if it was just innately in us, some kind of pheromonal thing, where every kid, even a good, well-behaved kid, turned to an absolute fucking animal. That it became fucking Lord of the Flies immediately. Just insane how awful every kid was in the art room. Just screaming, just ripping books off the shelves and throwing them everywhere.
What?
Start a fire.
Shouldn't art be the one class where there's some serenity?
Nope. I think that's because that's what it's supposed to be. And every 75% of those kids innately hated quiet. Then they'd hear their own thoughts, which I can relate with. And so let's just start a bonfire.
Also, all the fucking kids that signed up for it just thought it'd be an easy grade.
Fuck around.
They're shithead kids who can't handle a real class.
And if I traumatize this teacher enough, she'll just eventually not come out of her car. It'll become another study hall.
Oh my God. There's got to be a support group for rural North Dakota art teachers.
They need to build Mrs. Volk a statue.
Yep.
That woman deserved it. Oh my God, the shit she went through. Jesus. Pour one out if you're listening, Mrs. Volk. If she was, oh my God, that would make my day.
It's funny not to drive past it here, but as we're walking into this community college, you get a couple peeks into a couple other classrooms, and one of them is Dan Harmon, creator and writer of Community, teaching a writing class.
Are they shooting him with paintballs?
Paintballs, which is from Community.
Oh, fuck me. Look at all these references I'm missing.
While he's up there pointing at a thing that's like, all storytelling has to be in a circle, because that's his thing.
Oh, really?
This writing method where every story is circular somehow. I've never pretended to understand it, but they all shoot paintballs at him because that's what happens in Community.
Oh, I did not know that.
You should watch Community.
I'm just gonna say, I'm sure it's streaming somewhere.
I think Peacock owns it. Yeah.
The one I don't got.
You should cough up $10 and watch Community.
Hollywood Marlin over here.
Oh my God.
Just throwing fucking Hamiltons around like it's not a
Jesus
care
Christ.
in the world.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Fucking money bags, Marlin. Has $10.
All the Peacocks. He's watching all the old NBC content.
Funny you mentioned, I went to Peacock because I wanted to watch Taxi, because I've never seen Taxi.
Oh, no shit.
But there was a clip of it that went around a few weeks ago on Twitter. And
The
I was
cocaine?
like, no.
Okay.
What?
There's one where Christopher Lloyd's character, they discover some cocaine and he like jams his finger into it, like rubs it on his gums. And he's like, okay, Colombian. No, wait, Venezuelan, which is pretty wild for like a show in the late 70s. It's like, yep, that's what you got here. It like gives them like the exact breakdown of what kind of coke they have.
That's funny.
Yeah.
No, it was a clip of Christopher Lloyd taking his driver's test, trying to get an answer, like sneak an answer from one of the other guys on the show. The handsome one with the big hair.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But so I went on to Peacock because that's where the Taxi lives. And I was like, all right, let's fucking watch me some Taxi. And I don't know if they've been removed because they're problematic or whatnot, but I'm going to say half of every given season of Taxi is missing on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like episode 1, episode 7, episode 8, episode 10. Like there's huge swaths of that show missing, which either means taken down because of problematic content or music rights. It's usually one of the two.
This is why we have to go back to physical media. They can't take it away, baby.
That's true. You're not wrong.
Yep.
Like you're not.
I just recently heard someone rallying around that. Like,
Yeah.
we got to, man.
Like,
they can fuck with us whenever they want if we rely on
They can
streaming.
just take your shows away.
Yeah.
I get it. I know plenty of people who are physical media champions.
There we go.
But I don't know that I can go back.
And you're like, fuck this, we're not even doing disc, we're doing VHS. I need analog. I need moving parts inside of
reel to
VCR.
reel.
I want the whir, baby. Lets me know. I mean, a disc spins too, I guess.
I mean, I'm someone who very nearly bought the matching cassette deck for that stereo over there.
Really?
Like,
That'd have been baller, but yeah, you gonna go down that road?
like, I'm not going to fucking buy cassettes.
Yeah.
It would sure look neat, though.
Yeah. One thing about cassettes, you could sure get a vintage cassette cheaper than a vintage record.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Because cassettes are garbage.
Yeah.
Like, cassettes are objectively the worst way to listen to music.
Yeah, God, 8-track, but I mean 6 of one, half a
better
dozen.
because at least you can skip to the beginning of each track.
But is it an 8-track so you can't rewind? Or you can't fast forward? It's one of the two.
It's one of the two, but you don't need to fast forward. You can jump to the track you're trying to get to.
Huh.
Like if you put in an 8-track and you want to listen to song number 4, you press 4 and it jumps to it.
No shit.
A cassette, you're doing fast forward for a while, press play. Oh,
Yeah.
no,
shit.
not far enough.
Shot
oh,
it too far. Not enough.
Yeah.
Oh, the feeling you get when you nailed it, though. Yes. Did it.
For me, the feeling was
Thumb in the ass.
for me, one of the feelings.
Touche.
was
Gotta shake left because the right hand's the party hand. Doing that at a job interview.
saying that out loud.
Gotta shake left, sir. I had too much time in the elevator.
Got a real slow elevator. Got a real hungry bum over here.
I won't take no for an answer.
Do a little hitchhiking, you know what I mean?
This building only goes to floor 8, but I took myself to 11. This is an elderly woman.
Looking it up while I'm going down, am I right?
And Mrs. K's cookies, we think family's number 1.
As you're just thumb blasting yourself in the elevator. Oh, shit.
Oh, goodness.
But the feeling I was meaning to tell was pirating music off the radio on a blank cassette and hitting like, okay, the DJ is done talking and the song is starting now, and capturing that track just right, and then getting off it when it ends, you know, before a commercial starts.
Sometimes you'd catch it where like the goddamn DJ be prattling on
for the
first
talking
few
up the
seconds.
ramp,
So it's like, hey, hit 97. And fucking,
as the intro is playing, talking up the ramp, like, fucking shut the fuck up.
this is important to me.
I'm just trying to get Real World by Matchbox 20, and I requested it an hour ago.
What have you been up to over there?
God damn it.
So it turns out Lisa sucks at drawing.
Oh, sure,
back. But Marge turns out really good at it, which makes sense. We've seen Marge be an artist before. So they end up kind of realizing what's going on here. So Lisa tells Marge a story and Marge draws it. And they really start clicking and they're enjoying it so much they decide to make a little homemade comic book. And Lisa's all excited to show her therapist what they've created. But she gets to her therapy session and God damn it if she can't find it. And she's mortified. She's embarrassed about this because the story is basically Lisa's adolescence and just how not much fun Lisa's having. And Lisa enlists Marge's help. They look everywhere, trying to see if they can find it on the street, if it fell out of her backpack. And eventually they find it because Mr. and Mrs. Comic Book Guy have printed it into a graphic novel called Sad Girl and are selling it at the store. The Lisa and Marge walk in. They are furious. Lisa's very embarrassed about all this until a bunch of girls come in and ask for the next issue, and they're going on about how much they love Sad Girl. So Lisa changes her mind, like, hey, we can maybe get, we can make something out of this. So Lisa and Marge keep working. They keep making more issues. The book is a smash hit. Marge and Lisa become notable people. Like Lisa's getting positive attention, which she fucking needs
desperately.
And they're big enough where they are featured on a panel at Springfield's Comic-Con. I don't know. It's them two. It's the woman who wrote like Persepolis. And then a guy I didn't recognize. I didn't know what comic they were talking about there.
I didn't either.
Yeah. And,
Alison Bechtel. Bechtel.
Oh, okay.
Is the other one.
Yeah. It's like Women in Comics or something like that. Yeah.
I forget. I think it's a Roz Chast is the other one.
Oh, okay. That did Persepolis, which I wouldn't know anything about that, but they made a movie out of it.
I think she's a cartoonist.
Okay. Oh, really?
Maybe.
Yeah. That sounds right now that you say it, yeah.
Beats me. I knew who Alison Bechtel was.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Because I know of the Bechtel test.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Yeah, the Bechtel test. Yeah, it's a real thing in media.
What is it again?
The Bechtel test is two female characters on screen having a discussion that doesn't relate to a man.
Oh, interesting.
Does it pass or fail the Bechtel test?
Does that have to last like a certain amount of seconds or something?
I don't know if there's like more specific shit in there, but that like, does this scene pass the Bechtel test? Because they even make that joke here where Marge is like, that's a great idea. I'll have to tell my husband about that. And then it comes up, fail. Yeah.
So yeah, during this panel at the Comic-Con, everyone's clamoring to talk to Lisa. They all have questions for Lisa, and Marge is kind of pushed aside. And again, then she fails the Bechdel test. So not only is she getting ignored, she's kind of getting dunked on. And Lisa's getting just showered with adoration, and you can see there's some hurt feelings building up because Marge is also a failed artist, so she probably wants a little bit of fucking love for the work she's putting out there.
I messed up in that last one. That the lady who wrote Persepolis is I'm gonna butcher this. Marjane Satrapi.
Okay.
There's no way that's how either of those names is pronounced. Oof.
I wish you were running that panel.
And I knew that it was going to be bad. I knew that I was going to butcher it, but I couldn't stand to not correct it.
Yeah, you stepped into the field of battle.
I felt bad. Someone out there who knows or loves Persepolis was like, that's not her name. That's a different voice on the show. God damn it. And then I knew that it was going to be bad, and I did it anyway.
So now the seeds of discontent have been planted, so you can just see it's rising amongst them, and eventually there's a blow up, and Lisa suggests finding a different animator, which causes Marge to really flip shit. And it's I think this is happening in the basement, and they come upstairs, and Homer's like, hey, there's some weirdo here to see you. And it's some guy named Guthrie Burnell, played by the wonderful Martin Short.
I didn't catch that it was Martin Short right away.
Oh, really? Oh.
I thought for sure it was somebody else. I forget who I thought at the time, but I was like, oh, they got so-and-so, and it wasn't at all. It was Martin Short.
Yeah. What? I can't do much in this world, but goddamn it, I could fucking pick a Martin Short out of a fucking haystack.
I like Martin Short.
Very good.
Also, I think this guy is drawn to look like Emo Phillips. I don't know if that's who they were going for, but I just see Emo Phillips.
There's some Broadway guy that we're not aware of.
Sure.
That,
or some Martin Short character. That
like an SCTV thing from way back when.
Yeah.
Guthrie Burnell is a eccentric Broadway producer, not a Hollywood, a Broadway producer. And old Guthrie wants to turn Sad Girl into a big time musical. So Lisa and Marge, they do the pragmatic thing and they bury the hatchet because, by God, we're both going to rocket to stardom with this. And they're all excited. It's going to be a huge deal. But we eventually get a look at Guthrie's vision of the play, and we find out that Lisa's story is over and done with in like 90 seconds.
I thought this was cool. I thought this was a good bit here.
Yep. And the rest was going to be just the world that Marge has created with her drawing come to life. It's barely any humans. It's almost everyone in costumes and giant puppets.
Yeah.
I kind of like the looks of.
Yeah, me too. I thought this all looked great. And I love this bit of writing that this thing is, he only wants to celebrate Marge's illustrations.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a fuck about Lisa's story.
Yeah. It's like over in a prologue almost.
Yeah, narrator.
Like they just seal Lisa. It's open and shut. That's done. Now let's look at the world of Springfield that Marge has created. And right away, Marge is thrilled, as she should be.
Yep.
But Lisa's bummed about it, obviously. And this is all they discover all this during like pre-show when they're putting the shit together. Like they're sitting in the seats while everything on stage is getting worked on. And, but goddamn, Guthrie, he's got a vision. He's going to follow through with it. So it's the night of the big fucking show, and it's going well. I mean, Guthrie is managing. He's showing the vision he had. And it's this big visual, like all sorts of giant characters on stage. And Marge eventually looks over at Lisa, and Lisa is fucking bummed. Lisa's all sad. Marge, mom of the year as always. She decides to try to make Lisa feel a little bit better by drawing Lisa's character's face onto a spotlight. So the hope is
signal.
Yeah, exactly. So when that'll shine on the wall, we'll see Lisa's character's face, and that's what she does. But Guthrie, a man of fucking quick emotion, things don't simmer, they explode.
And the staunchness of his vision.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's a man of a singular vision. He flips shit, kicks over one of the lights, which just sets off this insane chain reaction. All of a sudden, there's a fire. The fire leads to this. Now there's fucking a level of pandemonium at the show that everyone leaves in a screaming panic.
Yeah.
Because like the whole goddamn fucking theater's about to collapse. And then the play is a flop. Obviously, they didn't even get to finish it, but Marge and Lisa are besties again, and all is well in the world.
Yeah.
My God, do we not get much Homer or Bart in this?
No, this is a Lisa and Marge episode. Yep. I do like that at one point, like Homer and Bart are like looking on as they're getting along really well, and like, why don't we ever have moments like this?
Yeah.
And they do the fucking, what's the whistling? They do the Andy Griffith thing.
Yeah.
Where they like we're gonna go fishing together, and then this other guy and son jump out and are like, they stole our fishing poles, and kick the shit out of the two of them.
Like, yeah, that was good. It's almost like they like realize it halfway through, like, holy fuck, we haven't shown Bart once,
Right.
Like,
yeah.
But I enjoyed this episode.
Me too. I like this episode a lot.
I was on board.
I like that at one point Marge refers to comic book guy and his wife as Mr. and Mrs. Book Guy.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. That's a good catch.
That's their last name.
Yeah. So yeah, Comic is his first name.
Yeah.
Book Guy is his last name.
So she thinks Comic and Kimiko Book Guy.
I didn't pick up on that. That's good
I
though.
thought that was so fucking funny.
And what is she wearing? Like when they come in, like a panda costume,
panda suit.
And she's gonna burn the stack of trade paperbacks that show the dishonor she has caused.
And it's like, I think all of that, Japanese take shame and honor and dishonor so seriously is probably a little culturally insensitive.
Yeah.
But when she zips up herself into that panda outfit and then Comic Book Guy kind of gives her the eye and she's like, there's nothing sexy about shame except in Japan where it's like a whole thing. I was like, that joke probably sucks. I'm sorry, but I giggled.
Her line when she says, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
That was good.
Yep. I also like all of the visuals in the musical.
Yep. I like the look of that. Yeah.
And I know that I don't remember if it's Simpsons or Family Guy or somebody else. Some show has definitely made fun of going to a musical that has people in the aisles, like performers in the aisles.
We've seen that on The Simpsons.
Maybe it's The Simpsons I'm thinking of. Or this type of big production with the robots and shit swinging from the ceiling. And maybe we're so far behind and we never see any of that the rest of the world just thinks it's gauche now.
Yeah.
But I would lose my mind at one of these.
Yeah,
I would be like, yay! Big
kid
open
me would
hand
love
clapping.
it. Yeah. I wonder if the art done in where we see the Lisa comic book, if that's done by someone of some renown.
Or at least meant to ape their style.
Yeah.
I thought the same
It
thing.
feels like it does.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. This one also dedicated to Tom Petty, who passed away around this time.
Really? I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. That would have been 2017, would have been right around there.
Sounds about right, about 5 years ago.
And he was in that episode. He was in the rock camp episode.
Oh, yeah.
All
You're
those
right.
years ago.
Yeah. Wow. Many years ago. Yeah.
One more. Let's do episode 3, Whistler's Father. Any clue what is that a reference to?
It's Whistler's Mother is a famous painting of some sort.
Oh.
I don't know if I've ever seen it, or maybe I have. I only know it because it was a trivia question once. And I was like, I have no clue. It was whatever painter's, Symphony in Gray number 7 is better known as what? It's Whistler's Mother. I think I did see a picture of it. It is a picture that's so famous, even a rube like me. It's like, oh yeah, I've seen it before.
You've seen it, yeah.
Like The Scream or some other painting that you've
Last
seen.
Supper.
Yeah.
Okay.
The floppy clocks. The dolly floppy clocks.
That's what it's called, I'm sure. Floppy clocks.
And a little more, one last final fun fact for today's episode. This is the last episode that Elf Clausen did the score for. So that means this was the last episode done with a fully live orchestra.
Crazy.
Which kind of an end of an era.
Yeah.
Simpsons have always had the big hectic orchestra music in the background,
I suppose.
So now they hired some other company to do it. And it's
way cheaper to plonk it out on a fucking keyboard.
Exactly. Yep.
Homer is watching Maggie while Marge has friends over. Friends in pretty fucking big quotes. These gals are awful.
Assholes.
Yeah. So Homer's watching Maggie. The gals, it's Hibbert's wife, Lovejoy's wife, and Luann.
Yep.
Van Houten. Ragging on Marge's sense of style because they as a group are supposed to decorate the late pickups room at school.
Oh, yeah.
And just dunking on Marge. And I laughed because I think I have brought up on this show how ridiculous the color scheme or the design of the Simpson house is.
I love, too, pointing out corncob curtains.
Yep, corncob curtains, pink and orange cabinetry, or purple and orange cabinetry, brown door with hot pink walls. Like, they're not wrong.
I think I'm colorblind enough that the silliness of it doesn't stand out.
Okay. There was another fun reference in that serfdom episode. They have literal cobs of corn hanging in the windows of the Simpson hovel. Yeah. I suppose I always forget that you're colorblind because, like, the Simpson house, if that were a real house, you'd be like, who fucking painted this?
What kind of lunatic?
Yeah, because it's painted like a cartoon house,
Yeah.
you know? So they're all ragging on Marge's sense of style. Homer, in the meantime, is upstairs, and he keeps hearing a whistling, and he's trying to figure out where it comes from. And he walks over to the radio, which is on whistling for... It's a whistling station? Like WHST or WHSL. And he's like, oh, that's what it was. And he turns it off, but it's still there. Turns out it's Maggie.
Marge, are you making tea? Yes. Whew. Iced.
Oh, yeah, that's very funny.
That gag, the whistling goes on too long, but I liked it.
Like him trying to figure out where it's the bird outside. No, it's not that. Like the idea that there is an all whistling radio station
so
is
good,
very funny.
Yeah.
Turns out it's Maggie. Maggie can whistle and can whistle really well. And Homer can't, so he uses Maggie to pretend that he can whistle when he can't. In the meantime, Marge gonna prove these bitches wrong. That's exactly what my note says. So she goes and decorates the late arrivals room, and it's great. It turns out great. She's got like a Wizard of Oz theme. You know, there's yellow brick road on the floor and a swing set in there.
She has groundskeeper Willie, Principal Skinner, and Superintendent Chalmers dress up like the Tin Man,
Lion, and Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yep, it's fun. And of course, the gals are trying to rag on it, but they can't because it turned out really well. And who would walk in and say that he loves it? It's Fat Tony.
Yeah, we were due for Fat Tony.
Fat Tony comes in. He's like, "This is great. I just bought. Is it an old post office?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I just bought an old post office, and I want you to be my interior designer." Meanwhile, Homer's at the bar pretending he can whistle
What
to
a
impress
fucking
his bar
pathetic
friends.
thing to do.
What an insane thing. He's got Maggie in a backpack.
Yeah.
She's whistling, and he's just pretending to whistle. And they're like, gee, that's great, Homer.
Good whistling, Homer.
Unbelievable. That's when Abe comes in and like gets weirdly technical, like, oh, it's good whistling. Crazy, how did you hit that C sharp when your lips were in the 3 position?
Yeah.
Like, as if Abe's some expert whistler.
But
He is,
yeah.
as it turns out. The gig is up. He finds out that it's Maggie because Abe was a very talented whistler until he was injured on an old whistling radio talent show because he tried to, I forget what he calls it, but like tried to pull off this insane maneuver where he whistles like three different tunes all
at the same
once.
time.
Yeah, he like plays all 3 parts.
He like puckers his lips in 3 different spots.
Which is not.
Yeah, how faces work.
It's bad to look at. I don't like how it looks at all. So we get this old-timey clip of him injuring himself. He like tears a ligament in his mouth. But he is gonna get Maggie into show business, baby. Marge working on Tony's post office. We get just a quick shot of them. Tony, very proud of it. He calls it the jewel of the implosion district as buildings are being imploded behind him. We go to get Maggie signed up for Hot Shot Tots, which is a like America's Got Talent style kids
for toddlers
talent show. Lisa like doesn't take this well that she has there's another gifted kid in the house. I like that quick scene of her being like, oh, like all disheveled about Maggie being good at something. And then Homer and Maggie are watching a documentary about this child star and how that always goes wrong. Like, oh, this 18-month-old baby was in a movie and then got into drugs and now they're in jail. You know, one of those. back at Tony's post office, turns out that Marge had been designing a whorehouse this whole time and didn't know that that's what she was designing, although it's clearly a whorehouse.
Yeah. Because I think, who do we see first? The mayor?
Yeah, the mayor and Kent Brockman.
Wearing those fucking Channel 6 issued bikini briefs.
Yep, he's got a bikini brief with Channel 6's round logo right on the knob, right out front. And of course, Marge not telling Homer about this, and Homer not telling
About
Marge
Maggie.
that he's signed Maggie up for this talent show, because now he's kind of convinced that it's going to ruin her life and that would make Marge mad. And Lisa at one point turns to the pets and goes, I guess everyone has a secret. And as soon as she looks away, the dog and cat start making out.
Yeah.
Ew, I didn't like that.
Don't we get a part 2 where it's like Bart, like, well, if Lisa's talented and Maggie talented, what happened? Like, kind of like wondering why he didn't get anything. Does that sound right?
That sounds right, but I forget what the joke
is.
I
yeah.
forget what the payoff was.
Like what that. I think Homer tries to console him in some shitty way.
Yeah, Bart being like, what happened to me, man? Mm-hmm. So we're at the talent show. Homer gonna like take Maggie away from this. They're in the backstage, like the makeup area, and he sees the other showbiz parents and how garbage they are to their kids. And he's like, okay, fuck this. We're getting you out of here, Maggie. And Maggie won't go because she's into
incredible
this now.
Grip strength for a baby.
Yeah, she just grips the armrests on her director's chair like, nope, not leaving. So Maggie decides to stay. Back at the whorehouse, the gals, the three, Luann, Hibbert, and Lovejoy, are fucking dunking on Marge about this whorehouse. Marge, I thought this was a dumb wrap up to this B story, but Marge, like it used to be a post office, and Marge found Fat Tony's mom's P.O. box key and found that there were letters from the Pope to Fat Tony's mom in the mailbox, and then like shames him of like, are you really gonna build a whorehouse around your mom's letters from the Pope? And he orders his goons to burn it down.
Yeah, that felt very
like, what?
Yeah.
That seemed like we don't have a real ending, so
we don't want this. We don't want people to ask if this is canon, so we're going to get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
dumb, real dumb. I didn't like it at all. We also get, again, I wonder if it's canon, Louis is like gives up that he's wearing a wire.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't think so.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So that ends Marge's B story. Maggie gets out there on the stage at Hot Shot Tots and can't whistle because she has a tooth coming in, which is weird to see. I don't like seeing Maggie
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Also, I assume not canon.
Probably not, if I were to guess. The crowd turns on a baby and just is booing the shit out of this infant. And Homer runs out and saves her, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. Real, like, good dad Homer at the end.
Yeah, we get good dad Homer, which is always fun to see.
Homer is usually pretty A+ with Maggie.
Yes.
When he's probably not very good because he has to almost be forced to spend time with him. When he does, he's really good with Maggie.
Yeah, and Homer and Maggie, not a combination we get a ton of. A lot of Homer and Lisa.
Yeah. There's one not that long ago where Lisa and Marge go off to do something, and Maggie is with Homer and Bart, and then Homer just fucking pushes Maggie onto Bart. That's the last time I could think of, or he even had a chance to do it, but he just fucking pawned off Maggie onto Bart.
And you get Maggie and Bart for a lot of it together.
Yep, committing crimes.
Yep. Absolutely, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, the Homer and Maggie combo we don't see very often, but I do like it.
And speaking of Bart, got to be the smallest amount of Bart we've had in a 5-episode run.
We got nearly no Bart.
That's so wild.
It's so crazy.
And he's such a huge part of this show, which I'm glad. I'm glad they don't feel like they got to just shoehorn a Bart story in.
Yeah, like I'm not mad at it. Like, okay, fine, sure, no problem. Let's focus on somebody else. It doesn't always have to be about Bart. I'm fine with that. And that does it. That wraps up another batch. I think not an incredibly strong one, but it was fine.
I think I'm actually maybe higher on this batch than you are.
Yeah. I really liked that comic book episode.
I think 1 and 3 were the duds.
Yeah, I think that medieval one is a bummer.
Yeah, 2, 4, and 5 I think were the best of the bunch.
Yeah. Let's see how next week goes. We're into season 29 now. We will do episodes 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That is 4 through 8.
What kind of music will we treat you with?
Who knows?
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Our dulcet tones.
Yeah, so many different genres to pick from.
Yeah. Well, now that we've gotten past Islands in the Stream.
Yeah, what's left, really?
What is left?
Maybe we should have saved that for the finale, but you know what?
Alexander wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer.
No more Dolly and Kenny duets to sing.
Now we're just doing the Conan the Barbarian sitting sad on our throne at the end. There's no more battles.
We've accomplished all there is.
By singing old country music duets to strangers on the internet. We've done it all.
The peaks we've reached. Now we can only climb downward.
4 through 8 for next week. You and I are telling jokes this weekend.
Fuck yeah, we are.
We are in
Rolette, North Dakota.
On Friday.
At the Wagon Wheel.
Boom.
And on Saturday, we were in Rugby, North Dakota at 3rd Street Station.
Look at us.
Look at us. Look at us.
Have I been in either of those places?
You've been to Rolette.
Okay.
Yep. You signed a drunk lady's breasts. Or not, maybe not full titty, but like.
Oh, I do remember that.
Cleavage.
Oh, yeah.
What's the French word for a woman's.
On the top.
Yeah.
Like between. Like that necklace area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a name for that.
I wasn't down on the titty.
Yeah.
I was kind of on the titty, but I didn't. Also,
ballpoint pen.
A ballpoint pen.
Yeah.
If you want your titty signed, bring a felt tip marker. You know how hard I had to dig into that poor lady with that ballpoint pen?
That woman was drunk enough. You could have used a hammer and chisel. She woke up that next day. Oh, fuck. You were the 4th guy to write on her titties. There's a couple IOUs.
I had to push so hard with that ballpoint pen. That signature is still on that titty. For sure.
I hope her tits look like the booth at a college diner. Like every class signs it.
I hope she shows up to the roulette show this weekend. I'll sign the other one and even them out.
If you look under your name, you can faintly see Class of 97 rules.
Go Wildcats.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Come see us if you're in central northern North Dakota this weekend.
We'll horse around. We'll have a good time.
Tell some fun goofs. You can find us on the internet at Barley Basket USA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Barley Basket USA at gmail.com is the email address. 4 through 8 of season 29 is the homework, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.